Ciao. Ciao, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back. 2 o'clock. That means a couple hours left in a huge day for the markets. Back to the upside. Coming off CPI this morning, if you missed it, a much better than expected print at 8:30. If you joined us at 8:30, we were talking about a whole bunch of opportunities. We'll get into a few of those coming up here, but there you go. That is quite the board right now. Screen cap that because it's been a long time since we've seen almost a 2% day for the S&P, 2.6 right now for the NASDAQ, 1.6 for the Dow. All three U.S. markets with huge up days. 1.7 right now for the TSX even here in Toronto, having a great day. 3% for Bitcoin, 8% for Ethereum still leading the way as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned. What a board to have a look at. I just realized, Merck, the only one really to the downside today, 1.3%. Bristol Myers there as well in negative territory, but otherwise, wow. Pretty strong right across this entire thing. Inside of the banking sector, one diversified name to the downside. The rest, though, all very much in positive territory. Industrial stocks all very much in positive territory, including some of the airlines, some of the travel names specifically. Among the leaders, 3.8 there for UAL, back to the upside. AAL almost 5% in positive territory. Look at the tech sector. The entire thing outside of Norton LifeLock, 1% to the downside coming off earnings. Consumer discretionary names as well, led by, the cruise operators. Now 13% higher on the day for Norwegian. What a day right across the board. Netflix, 6%. Meta, 6%. Disney is going to report after the bell. It's up 3.5%. On the day. So pretty impressive moves right across the board. Hope your day is going well. Welcome into what should be a pretty exciting last couple of hours here before we call it a day on maybe the start of something good as we hold 4,200 on the S&P right now. Let's jump into a bit of a review. As I mentioned, a ton of opportunities, whether it was Unity, whether it was Roblox, whether it was Coinbase, regardless of what you were looking at, the market was making the biggest move this morning coming off that CPI. Here comes Sean. He's going to talk us through how he approached trading it this morning.
Hey traders, thanks for paying attention and tuning into the Trade of the Day. It is brought to you by Daytrade the world's #1 day trading firm. Join today. Click that QR code to find out more. Look, today was pretty easy. My eyes on the NASDAQ. We had the CPI come out. We didn't know what it was going to do, so we bracketed some orders. We went long off that print. So again, what we meant by bracket was I had some orders set up. Here's a 20-minute chart here on the Qs, right? Or well, it's on the triple Qs. And why is it TQQ? It's triple the leverage. So you're going to see here, just for an example, 2.6% the NASDAQ is up. If you're going to look here, 7.7. So it's times 3. So you get a little bit more of a move. Plus, the price is a little bit better, right? You're only at a $35 handle instead of paying the Qs in the multiple hundreds. So a little bit easier to trade, a little bit better for us day traders, I find anyways, with the momentum. So let's just look over here real quick. If you look back here, this is 34.30. It goes all the way back to August 1st and even beyond that, 29th, then again here on the 1st and the 2nd, where we sort of dumped around at this level of 34.30. So now let's look at our day chart here. This is 34.30 right here. So we were like, all right, as the number was opening up here, so it was like 829 or even earlier, 825, you're kind of just dancing around a little bit of a low level here of 34. So initially I had a bracket to say, hey, if we take that 34.30 out, then we want to push a little bit long on that trade. But I didn't use 30 exactly, I used 50. So for some reason, some sort of, and it was right before, there's a couple big spikes there, right before the number came out, we actually got in, so you're going to see two trades. So one is in, and then we got out right away because we were in before the number. So that's why this looks like I got in and sold, but it was about a 15 to 20 cent hit because that's another thing I want to talk about with the trade of the day. If you're in a trade too early, something got triggered incorrectly, then the best thing to do is get out. We went long and then we got out. So we take the L early because it was a bad trigger. The market just moved up. It's not that the trigger was bad, it's just the market moved without the number, right? And so we put that trigger back in. We get out, then we get right back in. Then boom, there goes 34.50, right? So again, all we're doing is waiting for this level to hit. We also had a bracket order down lower if we took out this 33.50, which was the bottom. That never happened, so we don't have to worry about it. If the number came 10 or higher than the 8.7 expected, even higher than the 9.1, then we would have hit the short. Instead, it's a long. So boom, right up to the upside. Our first out's here, a little bit out at 35. This is all in 1 minute. So as you can see, this is a 1 minute chart. So maybe there's 1 minute in there. This is the second minute. And then the third minute's all the way to the upside. So again, blasted to the upside because it's the triple Qs. We're already getting 2, 3, 4, 5% return on our money. Like it's a great move to the upside. Boom it here, and then all of a sudden we just start emptying it out. After the move, pulls back in, we actually get pretty much the top ticks here, 36.25, 36.20, and if you look over here, this helps us again on the 20-minute chart. So we're run in, that's the level right here, same level, so we run into that 36.30, 36.40 level that we've already hit on big moves up, right? So we're just coming into that area. So from down here to up there, and this is what it is, out as we go, and then really no more outs. You're going to see a little try here. So as the market started to rally back 2 days high right there, we actually tried one more short. And this is the thing about risk to reward, which is why it's important for this to be the trade of the day. I feel like we go short there, and then we get out about 10, 15, 20 cents later. So the risk on the short, when we're already in a bull market here today anyways, that's a big risk to take, and I didn't want to take it. It turns out to be wrong. We pull all the way back down to 36, but the point is that as soon as we're wrong, we're able to get out. But look what we do when we're right. We cash our chips in, cash them again at 36, 35, 75, then out at the top. So as you can see, this is like a $2 move to the top side, or a little bit less than that, around $2, $1.80, something like that. And our risk on the short is a simple 10, 15, 20 cents. So again, if you're going to trade on CPI, I think you could have done this on anything, SDS, any of those levered S&P 500 ETFs as well. I've been looking at the NASDAQ, so I chose that name and found some key levels. Again, you do a little bit of work, you get prepared for the numbers. So every CPI, we're going to be looking at something like this. Unemployment rate, you can do the same thing. It's 8:30. I suggest looking at ETFs rather than individual stocks just because of the liquidity, and it's your trade of the day.
That's a great point. Going forward, going to be a great trading opportunity as we continue, obviously, to get these numbers month after month until they get this inflation under control. Let's be honest, going to take a little while yet. The next Fed meeting coming up in September, we'll get CPI in September for August before we get the actual Fed meeting. That's a watch list, guys. Make sure you grab that every single day. We send it out for free before we come on. Here is possibly the chart of the day on the inflation number this morning. If you remember, going back to last month, it was 9.1, which was a 40-month or 40-year high, I should say, 8.5 this morning versus 8.7 expected. This number, however, the core number, 5.9, was much better than expected. And if you remember, the month-over-month number, which was key as well, came in flat, suggesting that prices did not go up on a month-over-month basis for the first time in a very, very long time. So great to see for the overall market, great to see for individual stocks, specifically on the growth side, specifically on the tech side of things, getting a nice boost today.
100%, right? And like that move to the upside, super strong. It didn't lift all ships. Like, get that one out of the way. Like, there was a big pullback that occurred in some of the meme stocks in general. I'm only going to say that because I'm going right over to AMC here because it's in the middle of a breakout. But some of the meme stocks did not hold up the top end of the range. We'll show you some tech all over the place, holding highs, breaking highs, showing signs of strength. But yeah, AMC, it did give up the ghost. I'm back in it because our original entry price, I'll show you exactly what I liked on AMC, which is this 22.65 area. It was a pre-market high. I missed the breakout because, quite frankly, it came on that number. So you could have taken the market to the long side. I had a little Q's trade there. I had a couple of other names I was already into the long, but wasn't really looking to put too many equity stop breaks. Then tried the long in front of that same level. It just gave it up. But wick off bottom, higher low, higher low. Then we broke out the same price we wanted the long at about 9:30. So we end up getting into this. I'm going to take a 23 break as well on AMC. I'll buy the dip as well into VWAP. The trend is quite clearly at this point to the upside. I mean, you throw out what happened in the morning. It made a wick off bottom. Once a stock makes a capitulation bottom like that, I tend to look at the aftermath as giving me the direction. It's not that you throw out everything else, but momentum-wise, the momentum turns when you have a move like that. So I'm looking to buy these dips here. You can probably look at Bed Bath & Beyond as well. I'm focusing on AMC, but still need to challenge that top. Like, we haven't actually gotten through on the NASDAQ, and this is, I'll just go right over and show you the NQ. We haven't actually gotten through that high that we saw yesterday. So there's one last shoe to drop for us to take out the top.
Like that. One last shoe to drop before we take out the top. I really like that. That's a good one. All right, so yeah, what are we talking about? SPY, now what? Coin, big bounce. Okay, lots of stuff here. I was going to talk about Roblox because we've been hitting that one really nice, but we could save that. Yeah, look, I mean, this move that's been happening today, it's been quite a great move in the market. I mean, the NASDAQ, the S&P both up huge. S&P's up 1.98%, as is the NASDAQ. But let's just slow down a little bit here, because if you're going to go, and we can talk about the S&P, let's just go to the SPY again. So people are looking at 4,200. That's where we're dancing right now. So if you're going to look at a stock instead of the futures, I know Stephanie's going to come out here and have a quick look. But if you take the 20-minute chart here, we just now started to make, and I mean, it's not going to fill out back here because there's nothing up here, but we just today are starting to bounce around and hold these highs. So, we've come up here before. That CPI was very, very risky today, because if it does break this 408, then maybe we test back down here, 390 and change, and go back to some of those July lows. I mean, not lows, but some of these levels of, 90, something like that. But there's the S&P. It's a break, and I think you can hold longs until you break below this 417 area. So I don't know. I should have called up the futures ticker to give you an exact level here, but 417, I think that's going to be a good level to hold. If you drop it down even more, 416, 415, into some consolidation right here. So I just feel like the S&P is getting a little bit of a relief rally today. It's like, whew, that number came out. It was to the upside still. I mean, 8.5 is not a great number on the CPI read, but it gives us that sort of relief that, hey, this rally can now hold. We had not a couple bad days, but a couple negative days coming through here on the S&P 500. Now you're starting to take out that. This is that level I was looking at for June. My chart didn't go back that far in the 20-minute, but now that we're hovering above, this is 418, so we're not too far above it. Let's see if we can hold some of these levels. But it's nice that this is not inverted and back down here, because then I said there's that 50 period on the daily back down to 390. So I feel like it's clear sales now a little bit for the next couple days, maybe even into the weekend. You could get a continued rally, but I still say the same thing, Brendan, and that is that we've seen a lot of these companies cutting workforces, right? And why are they doing that? There's obviously a little bit of a delay here in ad spending for a lot of these tech companies. Some of the growth names have just gone basically parabolic from their bottoms. I mean, you're getting a lot of these Cathie Wood names up, like a Roblox, like an Upstart, like when we could say anything, even an AMC, up 50%, up 100% from some of those bottoms. So can that last? More to come on that. I'm going to say no for some of those growth names.
Definitely not all clear, certainly at this point, but this is a big, big step in the right direction for the overall market for those individual growth stocks. We mentioned Stephanie there. She's going to jump in here and give us a look at not only what happened this morning, but what matters now, Steph, as far as the futures are concerned.
Hi, everyone. So let's talk about price action for the day, especially before CPI and after CPI and where we're at. So this is my 30-minute chart here. So that 4150 key level that has been in play for the last few weeks, we were setting up right below it. And really, there was a 50-50 probability of going to the upside and going to the downside. Clearly, we went to the upside. So let's talk about some of these levels that we broke through immediately afterwards. So as you can see here, I have this rectangular zone, blue zone marked off, which was a critical 4-hour supply zone. We had the strength to break through 4160, 70, all the way up to the upside, breaking that prior high of 4188 and that 4200, which is right over here that I've been mentioning to you guys. Key psychological level as well as resistance came into play. We've been maintaining above it. Price is clearly pausing. We went to 4212. So we didn't have the strength to really hold above 42.10, which was the biggest question on an intraday basis today. And now we're kind of fluttering in the middle here. I did have levels intraday that were adjusted at 41.83 for some longs. So we did bounce off of there, as you could see with this little red candle here, and continue to push to the upside. So now the question is what's going to happen through power hour. And for tomorrow, if we're setting up to continue with a bull trend and momentum, I will touch on the levels that I'll be looking at for tomorrow. That's all from me, guys, and back to you.
Great stuff. Thanks so much. Busy afternoon individually as well for stocks. Let's go to Coinbase here. We were talking about earnings, if you joined us in the pre-market. Back to the upside in a pretty impressive way here this afternoon. We're all the way back to 94, 95 at the highs there, trying to hold 93 right now, despite a bit of a mess as far as earnings goes for Coinbase.
Mess, but the CPI number blew up my favorite trade this week, which was the whole when a stock has poor earnings and gaps down 10+%, just look for that squeeze long if it holds a low. So that was set up pretty well for Coinbase, but then at 8:30, it went from $82 to $92. So that's pretty much out the window at that point, because you can't exactly go long off the low when it's just gone 10% off of the low. It's done. So I had to look for shorts, quite frankly, in Coinbase. And at least the difference was when we tried shorts on Upstart at the tail end of that squeeze move, ended up getting top wicked out despite having the top correct in a general sense. It was the right 50-cent window, still got stopped out. And that's pretty much what happened in Coinbase. Like, I had the short, it tested 94, it broke 95. 95 was the level I was looking at. It failed 95. I got in at 94. It kind of wicked me out there, then didn't break the high. I'm like, nah, it's still valid, get back in, and then played it to VWAP. But here's where probably got a little bit too aggressive. Like, it held the bottom channel in front of 90. I said, okay, well, let's go for the second leg of the short. Was able to scalp a buck. And then shorting at that low, of course, didn't need to average back into this one. Could have just held it. It broke VWAP, we got out. Now I'm not really doing much of anything with Coinbase. We've seen what's happened in the afternoon, the last little bit here, so I'm kind of trying to stay away from, unless it's something really valid that I have from the morning, I want to stay away from things that are diddling. The trend feels like it's coming back in, but I'm not going to be able to get these 94s once again. That's why I moved over to back to AMC, which is making some moves here in the afternoon. Coinbase might be done, but it had to be very patient. Once the long was gone, you had to be really patient with that short trade, and even then it took a couple swings.
Yeah, look, I mean, as crypto goes, I mean, Neil just hit it out. I mean, we had it on here as our trade, one of our top names here to look out for on the sticky note, and it was just very, very simple, and it's literally exactly what Neil said, and it was just like, hey, we got to look for some pops into that name. It happened, but it didn't happen at the right time. So, yeah, pops right there for Coinbase. Would have been a great one up to that 45, but honestly, there was so much happening in the morning. That's an easy one to say that we just don't have that trade. So we'll have to wait to see what happens now as we go to the upside with Coinbase. But I'm just trading Apple here, shorting it. I mean, you can see we've been short like crazy here on Apple on some of these highs. It doesn't look like it's wanting to work out for us on the downside, but Apple against that 168.50 area here, we want to go short against that. So that's what I'm doing right now on Apple, and hoping for the best on this short. We just took something out at 34.35 there, but we have the 50 period down here at 21. So hopefully a little bit of a move down gets us out of this Apple trade here, Brendo.
Right, Roblox, guys, another one that was down big time if you saw it in the pre-market. Not so much anymore. Yeah, still about 2.5%, but possible we get back up to where we were at, now that I see that, it's probably not even that much. Possible that we get a red to green kind of move here going for Roblox, where we already saw the similar happen in Coinbase.
$1.35 away. That's what Roblox is. Now, everything we just said about Coinbase, pretty much the same thing for the open. You couldn't do it, but it made the same move. And I preferred this one long off that low. There was a 40 bottom, was better than what I thought Coinbase was going to be. But forget about that. Once it was gone, the short was off of this. I looked at the gap channel, which was like 46.5. Down to 45 even. It was a short in the morning. I came back at 45. I didn't flip long till it broke 46. John was about 30 cents early. Oh, you're not still long?
No, I got.
Oh, okay.
Do you see that wick?
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, oh yeah, I see the wick. I'll zoom back into my 15-minute here. That wick probably. So I didn't go into the long, like stop to short, until it broke back above 46 and held. So I'm long now, but I wasn't until this. And I'll essentially try to play it back into 45.5 and then up to flat on the day. If Roblox goes green, I will be out of this trade to be sure. I had one bad one where I got up out of my desk, and you should not do this. Well, you can get up out of your desk and go to the bathroom. But I did get up without a stop on one of my orders, which was pretty silly. You should never really want to do that. And then when I sat back down, I jumped in at a bad price, which you should also not do. So gave some back there on Roblox. But these wicks, there's been a lot of them, and we have 2 different stop orders we can use. One of which does not get usually triggered by that wick. But there's pluses and minuses to it. It's sort of the downside of having like sensitive stops to the tape. Right, like if anything prints on that tape, including a dark pool wick, you can't get back out. Sometimes you just jump right back in the trade. Other times, if you're not paying attention, you might miss it for a little bit there. But impressive run by Roblox. Probably needs the market to take out the high for it to get green on the session. But the trend, I mean, that short from the morning, that trend is broken at this point.
Yeah, it really does suck. I'm going to have to educate myself a little bit better. I mean, I know how to use those stops, but I use the other ones that do get triggered. So there is my trigger out if you come on the screen right now. Roblox is going to be my number one. No, still the TQQ, still my number one trade. But Roblox is approaching that and pretty closely as well. So we just started short. I mean, this is the trade. We gave it to you on the sticky note. It's dead on there for 45 short. So it only goes up to 46. We just hit that short, and then it came all the way back in. Not only that, but we did reload on that trade as well, and we went short again at 45 and brought that down to 43. So when you're looking at these trades, and this is why it's my number one symbol today, is we just got some bangers on this name. So I mean, it's just like downside, then we shorted it again, boom, that. Then we tried to go short at 45.50. That didn't work. Some worked, some didn't. We got out right away. The market was too momentum to the upside. So I was like passed hard on that one. And then we just went long. So like Neil said, we should probably still be long. I was chatting with Stephanie about this trade as we were looking at different things, talking about our strategies and this and that. And we talked about reloading this Roblox down here at 45.70, whatever it was at that time. So those were the good longs, and then it just blew up. My best out here on Roblox, if I can zoom in a little bit, is look at that. We actually have this out at 50. So that's a good one at 47. So we just sat there, took that fill. But Roblox has been obviously a pretty good name for me today. So we'll just continue on that strength of Roblox. I think until we break this 50 period, the long is probably what's in charge here. So RBLX, on what was a bad report and what was down 20% at one point, now trying to go positive. And again, it's the same thing over and over again. These growth names miss, but then not just because there's a high short interest, but because they're just so low, they get bought up again into the open. So this was a big day for Roblox. I'm really glad. Obviously, I do invest in this company, but I do think that they missed on everything, man. Daily active users, bookings, like they were horrible. It was not a great report, so it's really surprising that the trend is your friend. That's well above VWAP right now. I would think it's due for a pullback, but again, you got to wait at least until this breaks, which is 45.90. Then I like the short a little bit better than where it is now. So 45.90 break on Roblox, and maybe we'll be back into this name on the short side.
There are so many to look at in the pre-market. Unity, another one that can be basically put into this same box. Unity was down off of a pretty dismal report as well. Full year revenue forecast cut to go along with that. But wow, what a move back to. This was actually one of the first to go, if you look. Positive right out of the gate this morning, and then some for Unity.
Okay, just lining up something, because AMC, I reloaded AMC down to that 2270 area, played it back up to 23 here, and it's about to break 23. So that break is imminent. I am trying to add to the position if it breaks this, which it's going to in a quick little second. So my stop is adjusted. Unity, like, it's a strong uptrend. There's so many names that are going to look exactly like this, so I don't want to be broken record about sort of the beat up names reporting, and then it doesn't really matter what the report was like. It's like you break out from like 49.50 and you're off to the races. When this gets to like 70, well, I should say if it gets to like a 65 to 70, that is going to be there's a break on AMC. That's going to be a heck of a shorting opportunity. We're not necessarily there yet. I think today, if you're looking for something, it's yesterday's high. After that, it was crap. Now it's AppLovin, I think it was. The AppLovin rumor
Yes.
came out. Not rumor, AppLovin with interest in buying them. So that came out. I think that can be like a temporary top. It also gives you a potential breakout through that 56.50. Just missed getting some shares out on the scalp and AMC there, but 56.50 gives you a bit of a temporary high, so maybe we can test that for a scalp short, like a VWAP retracement type play. Either way, like running in front of some of these freight trains, the way they've been going, there's been trades in there where you can take it to VWAP, but most of them have not broken trend off of these highs, and it's tricky to want to short things like this when they just don't want to follow through. Like you can take it back to VWAP, you're not getting much more than that. So, even if it goes to that high, I would be very conservative with any short on something like this in the afternoon. We'll see what happens. Now AMC, just going to quickly go back over to AMC. The 23 break happened. You see, I have a blended price because I still had some 70s there. So trying to scalp some out, take out the last of the 70s, and then play this to the quarters, into the 50s. I'm not sure we make a fresh high this afternoon, but hey, you want to have something on board in case AMC does one of those crazy plays up to 25 even. Doesn't seem very likely, but as for now, AMC is trying to moonshot. I just wish, and this is my mistake, is when it took out that 21 wipeout bottom, that's the kind of long you want to be in. When that kind of a flush on volume happens at lows like that, you want to get back involved in the stock. But I was looking elsewhere. Late to the party, but it's back at the same levels we liked from the AM.
It's hard to talk about one without the other, so I don't have any trades or anything on GME today, but we'll have a quick look. It's right now, it just made a great move. I mean, 39.50 basically takes out that 39.80, which was the top. I mean, obviously we had a big flushed out off the open, but if you're just going to look like into this area here, you do take out that top, so there it is right there, basically breaking 40, I guess you could call it that. It goes up to 40.80 and stops and then retraces back, and now it's trying to make that move again. So I feel like whenever you see these little bottom wicks, like on a retracement, that's a good sign that this is about to happen. So you could have got long, and we're just gonna have to watch it. Like, we honestly can't. We try to watch everything, hard to do that. But if it does come back into $40 again, we do have some buy zones here to take this long. So AMC and GME, both names that I think you want to have on your radar here going into the close, as they're starting to get going a little bit. You can see it's not like it's a lot of volume, but maybe if I lift this, I don't know if I guess you can see that. The volume's starting to pick up a little bit, pretty dead, but now starting to pick up on these names. So I would say you could watch out for 41 break as well here on GME, but I almost said Jimmy, like I keep calling it, same thing that Prad there calls it. But yeah, watch out for GameStop trying to make a move along with AMC. So those two tend to trade together, as we know. So take a look at that. Rocket as well, up 6.5% today.
BBBY. Also making that move as well, similar to AMC and GME. This is BioAlta, just halted to the upside. BCAB, trying to make a late day run here on heavy volume as well. So little one just popping up and halting. Tesla, on the other hand, was on watch this morning. Very weak right out of the gate. We got the move with the overall market at 8:30. But as soon as the actual market opened, we did nothing but go straight down. Bounces off yesterday's close, basically, and gives you a nice move back higher.
So if you're wondering why is Neil in, anyone watching yesterday in the afternoon knows why I'm long tied at $1.03, but you're probably wondering why am I even bothering to trade Twitter here today. I was just watching that one that Brennan just mentioned there as it opened back upside. Look, I think Elon's selling shares of Tesla, and I think everyone's already said this morning and all day long, is because he's preparing for the possibility or probability, depending on your outlook, that he has to pony up for Twitter at 54.20. And what ended up happening on Twitter, I'll go to the daily chart, is Twitter just gapped up, showed strength, and then started holding. After the initial deal announcement, 44 was a low, and when it broke it, you can see what happened. So it finally reclaimed that 44 level. I've been trading off that with one exception this morning. When it did break that and I stopped out, it reclaimed the level, I went long again. I've been essentially scalping ever since. Now it's starting to slow down and really barcode off of this 44 level. So it's not really bouncing here, so I've orders all the way to 44.25. If it makes one last push, I feel like that'll be it because it's kind of slowing down there. But that was my take today, that now you've reclaimed that level, you can scalp off 44 because it was good support for Twitter. I had one trade on Tesla and it was pretty quick, and it was late in the session. It was at 880 break, scalped it, and then it kind of came back. The 75 was the much better one. I was sort of going in the chat saying, and I was like, I was complaining to Sean because I actually got this on the way back in 880, and then the 870, like this break here, my order didn't fill, so I didn't get it at all. But Tesla trending very strongly to the upside as well. So he's done, he says, Elon's done selling the shares. That's a relief because that would account for the relative weakness that it had the last couple of days. And then you saw how well it ended up recovering off that 850 level. One of the stronger names in the market. If we get through the highs, maybe we get a chance to see that Tesla 900. I don't have a structured long on this just yet. I think it would have to retest maybe VWAP or make a break of 885 because that pullback here was about 885 in the morning, and that's where it really started to accelerate through. It needs to take that level out. It's too choppy in this range. I need to break something, kind of like what AMC and GameStop are doing.
Break yourself. Yeah, GameStop looking to take out 41 right now as well, as I know Neil has a long on AMC, so that's correlating right now. As we just talked about this long as well coming through here on these names. But yeah, Tesla, good talk there. We've already looked at Tesla. We looked at that as 900 today. It fell off at 900. We talked about that earlier. And I was like, look, if you want to take any kind of a risk on a name, this is probably the one to do it at this level. If you guys remember me talking about that earlier, then you would have had this trade. So, going short there right off the open, that was a possible play. I'm glad if some of you took that. I don't have it on, but we should have. And again, remember I said you can give it $7 worth of room, and then just, you go 1-to-1 for half, and then you hold the rest. Went right down to that 850. So you want to talk about, and again, something else I was talking to Stephanie about was key levels, right? Because the S&P was at 4,200. Different. Is it getting warm in here or not really?
Yes, it is. I was going to say something. Right, I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, so the S&P at key levels, and then Tesla, look, 900 and then 850, right? So nice little $50 range, literally in the middle right now, but here comes the market coming back in. Cash Kari right now saying we may be in a recession. So I think this is Fed's Cash Kari, right? Maybe in a recession in the near future. So Apple comes in a little bit here.
Worst meal ever.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that, bud, on that. So we'll wait to see here what's going on. Holy crap!
Yeah, buddy.
Who was the dude? Anyways, it's for Luca.
This is actually.
It's actually
thank
for
you
Luca
very much,
Trader
Maggie.
Brad.
So someone in the chat,
holy shit,
in the midday show was mentioning because Luca was saying how hungry he was. So somebody sent all this pizza
Luca
here
at, man?
for Luca and
let's do
Brad.
this on the show live.
Better not be.
Looks like a little bacon. Cheese. What else you see on there? That makes sense. What that is there.
I see bacon,
so let's
cheese.
close that. Let's see what the next one is.
Let's see what the other one is here.
From Barry Jones. So we got to say same thing. It looks like.
Nice
it looks like an all-meat pizza. Thank you so much, Barry Jones.
Thank you, Barry.
Right on here. That's what I'm talking about.
I got to say one thing though.
That's a man of his word.
Man of his word, and there is no pineapple on it. So
there we go. So that's good. Yeah. Thank you so much for that one.
About.
Yeah. Pass it around.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, save some slices for all of us too. But
make sure
like
the guys
one
get
each.
some too.
Make sure that Luca and all those guys get one. So thank you, Barry. I mean, let's just go. Here we go. From Neil to me or me to Neil right there. Pizza comes through. And thank you, Barry Jones. I mean, if anybody else wants to send stuff like that, be our guest. But there it is. So Cash Kari, we get a little bit out on.
That's not cool, by the way, Cash Kari.
Yeah, that came out. There we got a little bit out, and then it just rips right back to the upside. So about that. The risk
even AMC fell there.
Okay, it says the risk of recession would not deter me from doing what's needed. From doing what's needed. So yeah, there he goes. He talks like that. So we'll wait to see where there's any news on this. But that's it. We get out of our Apple trade. Hey, it was good there. I like that recession talk when you're short. But there it goes. Now taking out the top on Apple. So yeah, pizza, nice. Thank you so much, Barry Jones, for that. That means a lot from Frank's. So thank you so much, Barry, for that pizza. Definitely.
And shout it out. It was Frank's Pizza, right?
Frank's Pizza. That's what I was saying from Frank's. Okay. So thank you so much. That's awesome. And I actually want to go have a slice right now, to be honest with you.
To be like, the thing about it is, it gets really humbling, man. Like we kind of just do our thing every single day, and like you hear, like it's real. Like you're tired one day, you're hungry in the middle of the show. Like we're just telling you what's up. And then, someone sent beer one time, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. But
it's just that came out of nowhere. Luca. It was for Luca, because Luca was like Luca's giving his all, as always, right? And having a fantastic day for you guys. And it's like, yeah, he hadn't had his lunch and he was hungry. That's so incredibly thoughtful To be honest, man, like that's really thoughtful that someone would take the time to do that.
Barry Jones in the chat right now saying he's going to send beer tomorrow. Send it on Friday. We like to do something on Friday. You could send it tomorrow. We'll put it in and we'll keep shouting you guys out.
You know what's interesting?
You know, anything like that, man.
About the whole drinking on Thursday, Friday, we have graduation parties for traders that graduate. We used to often do it on Thursdays because that'd be a better bar night at places.
Right.
And then we shifted the policy for obvious reasons as to why poker nights are on Fridays and grad parties are on Fridays, just so you know how traders can get, that you don't have these horrible P&Ls on Fridays. Don't do it on Thursday. So yeah, if you're going to do that, send it in on a Friday. Plus, when there's beer here, I'll definitely drop a bar for you guys because thank you so much. I did miss the last time it happened, by the way, when the Heinekens came. That was the day I was off.
No, but
I wasn't here. I was not here the Heineken time.
But there was.
No,
were you not? There
man,
was, but the last time we drank, you were here, though.
But that was different. That was for the outing. That's when we were doing our social.
Right. Thanks for Fahad right in our ear right away right there. So, yeah. And I want to say a big thanks to Fahad for being very, very vocal in our meeting today. So that was very, very good.
He was very.
Thank you, Fahad.
In
for
Fahad's
participating.
defense. And Fahad, like he won't say anything because he's a tough guy. But like he's like nursing an injury today. But he's doing yeoman's work. So I just
what is your injury? What's his injury?
He messed up his knee or something.
Oh, he messed up his knee.
Doing like too much leg press, which we were talking.
Right. Little twist at the end.
If I was talking about his, anyway, so he was talking about his leg press with Lucas, bragging about his leg press.
I would love to do
Lucas.
a show in Vegas, man. We've talked about that. I mean, I really think, gutter ball injury. Yeah, probably right.
Vegas, baby.
You know, I think that Vegas would be so sick. And
I got to go to Vegas.
Yeah, and Neil wants to go, so we should be able to do that. I've already said the shout out to people like, I want to go to Vegas. Anybody work at any hotels?
You've been to Vegas,
You know,
bro.
hook a brother up with some deals here or something like that. Yeah, Vegas would be pretty sweet. That is for sure. So we'll do a new trade alert here. And it's just a new one, so we don't have to hit money or anything like that. But Microsoft has been one of my best stocks today. Look what the damage we did on Microsoft here, taking these bottoms at 287 on Softy and running that to our last out of 288.75. That's $1.75 in the money there. So we're going to try it one more time. Go long now on Microsoft as we break above. Oh yeah, and by the way, I changed my charts over to a 2-minute chart, both on the NASDAQ and on Microsoft. Why? I'll tell you why. I'll probably put it back to a 1 minute for the open. It's because it's just been so choppy, the close the last little while. I don't want to like get these signals off of a 1 minute. I know it's only double, like people say like you shouldn't be trading off of a 1 minute or 2 minute anyways, but it's just, you know, the market has been pretty choppy. I've looked back at a few things over the last couple days, and you know, it's been great. I mean, we really shorted Amazon yesterday. It was great into the close. And I want to go long now as well, but I just changed it, so all of these are now reflected on. So it's a 50 period on a 2 minute, and then a VWAP on a 2 minute as well. So it's not doing anything differently. It's just a matter of giving me a little different, longer look here as we take about 10 cents. What did we just get filled there? That was a good fill. That was 63s. Okay. So we get a 63 fill there on Microsoft to take that fill. So, you know, in 48s, out 63s, that's 15 cents. Our drop zone for this, I'm not even in a full position. So if it rips, it's great. I'd like to have some more shares. But ultimately, I'd like to get a little bit longer, more near this 288 level. So we'll look for that. But that is the reason, not that anyone's noticing. All I can think about now, that
you should always say it, because what will happen is people
like
watch every single day and they know our charts are like, you might have a 1, 15, and a 10.
I wanted to just tell everybody.
So like I've gone to a 3 minute just because I wanted like the middle between 1 and 5 so I can leave a 3 up all day long. And one of the things I found with that chart, I'll get to AMC in a minute, is that it's been easier on some of these small caps to kind of buy dips and play consolidations on this higher time frame. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. You'll see me flip off into my 15-minute, but I do love this 3. And this is my segue to that NVTA. And I want to shout it again to Luca, who was doing a fantastic job, because he mentioned the size on NVTA. And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, double top, size on the offer, 83s, I'll short that. Sure, why not? I'm in the middle of scalping, so I'm out first leg out, I have like 15% out, holding the rest for a bigger flush. When it took out the top, now I didn't go long until I missed the $4 break. I'm like, please pick me up because I want to take some longs, work 4s into 380s. And then you see this happen. Like, it just holds that 4 level for 5 minutes or so. We're able to play it to 20s, play it to 50s. Haven't been able to, like, I didn't go back on the bid at 4 even, because when it did this, that was a wick off top. I thought we're heading back into 380 when it did that move, and I'd buy the 380 level. Now you're running back to these highs. This bad boy is on a run on the daily. This 470 does stand out a little bit. I think it makes some sense to cover some around that 60 to 75, play for another dip, and maybe work off to like a $5 break. But it is getting to a significant level on the daily. If it gets through that in 5, obviously 6 is going to be out there. And of course, once again, AMC continuing to run. It shook off that Kashkari comment, and now right back up toward those highs. So AMC continuing to churn. It's had some trouble. Ooh, that smells. Oh, that's damn good.
I had to bring 2 because honestly, I don't know.
Oh,
if
that's
you want
damn
one.
good.
I know you're all about.
That is damn good.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now. We can't both eat at the same. One of us has to talk. All right, I'll keep talking while Sean has a couple of bites of that.
I just want to. I couldn't. Like,
Barry,
I couldn't,
man.
I could not resist.
You're changing the world a slice at a time. Because actually, I said this to you, Sean. The salad today, which is, we get a catered lunch. The salad's healthy and it's good. I was kind of unimpressed with the salad. I've been having way too many of my cashews over there as a snack.
Not to talk like Dave Portnoy or anything, but this is like, you know, it's really thin here. There's a nice pizza review here. Not too greasy on the top. You know, great meat. This is just a great cheese situation. This is an absolutely great pie. I mean, this is a great pizza right now. So I'm gonna take one more bite here and just have one more taste. This is really good. Thanks, Barry, for that one.
I can't say anything better than that. It's absolutely tasty and needed, man. Like you can't.
Wow. All right.
So I had this conversation
I had to try it.
I had this conversation with Stephanie yesterday about you have to have like your right mindset on, like you physically, mentally, you want to be there when you trade. It may seem like something small when Luke was talking about always hungry, but if you're tired, hungover, you guys know about that, or hungry, you're not the same. Like your head's not in there. Like have a snack. I actually have I have food next to me. Just if I feel the need, I'm peckish. It's just, it makes you feel a little bit better. Stay hydrated. We always have our water. I don't know where it's over there.
That's right here.
If you need your coffee or whatever it might be, go do you, because you got to make sure your mind is right. And I say that, like, at least for the last, like, a little bit here with the hype off the pizza, I have not felt it as badly in my back, because I'll tell you,
Sometimes it's a mental
It's
thing.
been a rough day, but it's a mental thing. I've
No, but
forgotten
I think
about it.
there is some legitimacy to that. Like I was like, yo,
Do you
Brad,
give Brendan some?
where's it? Brendan, let's just ask Brendan. Brendan, would you want me to get you a slice of pizza? What? Here we go.
I would love one. I'm living vicariously through you, but I'm going to have to graciously pass, although it smells amazing. Thank you, though.
So he doesn't want one then. Living through us.
I don't do dairy, man. Sorry, I can't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the cheese. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
It's all good. Quickly, while I have you. This one just popped up. I thought I'd throw it out there. CPRX just made a day high there on a huge volume spike, having a monster day, guys, off of earnings as well. So nothing but upside for CPRX so far today.
Brendan is a pro bodybuilder. Brendan is a pro at pretty much everything.
Pro bodybuilder.
Someone just put that in the chat. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, did they?
They're like, we're not short the pizza. I'm going long the pizza all
Hell
day,
no, I got
all
a new
day, every
pizza
day.
joint right now.
I'm surprised they didn't just punch long into like some kind of pizza chain. Although,
I mean, look what just happened.
ain't no generic
like you're
nonsense.
saying, you got AMC. The pizza came. The AMC's a banger.
Market's up.
Yeah, the market's up. We got some nice pizza
Softy.
rolling through right now, and as I choke on probably piece of bacon, and we got, the money's throwing back. I mean, come on, man. Look at this Microsoft trade. We just talked about taking that through 288.50. I mean, there it is.
He just leaves
a
it on
nice
this
little
shot
blow up
once
to
I
the
eat.
upside, man. Taking that 50 cents right there. Come on, man. Neil's trying to eat right here, Fahad. Wow.
It's like
if
John's
you're not
talking-
on Team Fahad, this is what happens, Neil. The guy is very, very, devious in his ways.
because you know how they do. It's like, okay, John's talking. I want to get a bite of something. Put it
I'll
on.
give the
put it on
pizza
that
rating.
camera and get it off this shot so I can eat or something.
The thing is, I don't want to do that Dave Portnoy thing, but honestly, I don't know if you noticed, when I take the pizza up, I fold it the first time.
You're a fold guy. I'm
Folding
not a
it,
fold
make sure that it's the right consistency, make sure everything like that. So, I think because of the cheese to me is really good. I don't know what you're thinking. It's not overwhelming, the cheese. You also taste the meat, and it's not too saucy.
That's the combination. It's like the sauce to cheese ratio, right?
Yeah. So
that's what's perfect about it. And the crust actually very nice. It's a good solid crust as well.
I would give
Not
this
too
like
soft.
an 8.6, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I think that's a good rating. I
can't argue.
Yeah, it's really good. So that's great. Thank you for that so much, Barry Jones, for that pizza. And it gave us something to talk about and gave us some energy. So thank you for that. As Neil and I tweet out our salads sometimes. I put that on the air. You know, we eat as healthy as we can on the show, obviously. And, well, in our lives, I hope we try to, you know, as you get older, not that we're old. I think that, you know, like 35 is not that old, right? So as we get older here.
The way I used to eat when I was young.
Yeah, exactly. So you can eat really bad when you're young.
I was like,
but as you get older,
eating contest level, man. Like I could, like I was like throwing down like half a dozen like Whoppers
Blue.
because
Don't send Labatt
just because
Blue.
I could. What's wrong with Labatt Blue?
Do they still make Labatt Blue? I mean, obviously they do. That's kind of a rhetorical question, but
of course they do.
I don't know. I prefer Molson Canadian. If we're gonna go with the generics, I prefer the Canadian or the Coors Light over like Labatt Blue or.
I've said it once. I'll say it a million times. Best beer in the world, Innocent Gun rum cask.
Yeah,
it is absolutely. If you never had it, man, it is absolutely fantastic. By the way, the market, like the market's holding off a little bit here. When I say going sideways, and I keep going to my 15, Roblox is continuing to trend a little bit higher. I gotta
You ate
zoom it in.
6 Whoppers, did you say?
About 46.50. So the story is
6.
So the
Whoppers?
story is, you know where the theater was at 410 and 7.
Yeah.
And there's maybe like 3 minutes down the road, there was that Burger King.
Of course.
So we got to the Burger King, and the challenge was, okay, well, if you get a half a dozen Whoppers, can you eat them before the credits were, not the credits, but the previews were done?
Oh, okay.
For whatever movie we were watching. So I had however long previews are. What was that, like 10, 15 minutes?
I was gonna say, yeah.
To eat 6 Whoppers. But I was like, I'm probably like 17 at the time, right? Like,
so you ate 6 Whoppers in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, when I was 17. I once ate a dozen donuts and half. So I had 6 donuts and half a liter of chocolate milk before my buddy could get from downstairs up in the condo, because I'm like, there's no chance he didn't put in on this. He's not getting any, and he's kind of a scavenger like that. So I'm like, it's all going to be, my half's going to be gone before he can get to the 20th floor. And it damn sure was. And then he leached off my brother. So, and the person knows who they are too. So I made sure I ate mine.
How good is chocolate milk, though?
Oh, I love chocolate.
Like, chocolate milk is like, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe send some chocolate milk instead of the beers, man. Chocolate milk is, love some chocolate milk.
I can't do that stuff
I have
now,
to, like,
though.
my kids, we basically cannot buy chocolate milk because, like, they'll just try to crush that. So we try to, you know, but then they're like.
But how do you say no?
I don't know. Do you like strawberry? My kids, for some reason, like strawberry. I'm like, I don't know. For me, I'm not down with strawberry, but yeah, I'm sure people saying, can Brendan chug a Guinness? I'm going to say yes on that one. So
just one?
Yeah, just one. I mean, yeah, multiples for sure. Krispy Kreme donuts. Let's not get started. I mean, honestly, because the minute we start talking about
overrated,
food, like,
I think.
No, but the thing about, yo, Fahad, calm down.
Go to any farmer's market and have a fresh donut, man. That's why I like fritters. Like, give me that fresh.
But we're not sitting here.
Oh, now you like me, Fahad. Fahad's in my ear now. He's like, yo, Krispy Kreme's overrated.
But it's not about to me, I agree with you. I mean, anything made fresh.
Yeah.
But the Krispy Kreme donut, if it's reheated, like you put it in a microwave for 10 seconds, it's like a one bite thing. They're gone. To be honest with you, though, it's been years.
Oh, hell no.
It's been years for Krispy Kremes.
Oh, hell no. So my worst stock today was Trade Desk. Because I didn't, so Pratt had the long, and there was this iceberg at 71.65. Like, it was an iceberg on this stock after it put in the bull flag. So when it did this capitulation candle, I started working the short, and it looked good, but then it ran into his iceberg and then just trended to the upside. So I get stopped out. I even tried a little baby long, and then that stopped. So it goes to 75, and the reason I'm frustrated is because before I made a single trade, when the stock was doing this, it was about this moment that I was like, 75 is the level if it can get there. And then it starts trending up and all of this. And it's like I see that candle and I make an execution short. I start working shorts. But then what level does it turn? 74.87. When I talk about being patient, if you have a level that you like and you know that's it, you can't get caught up because it might set up for you. But if you looked at the stock when it was at like 64 and thought 75 was resistance and it's this strong, let it come to you. Because if the stock is that strong, and it was the strongest stock this morning that I could find, when the stock is that strong or weak if you're looking for a long, don't compromise on your entry price. Allow it to play into you. And now that it comes back in, for the person that just asked about Trade Desk, I don't know if at $71.50, it was 65 actually, I don't know if there's going to be buy support there. I can simply tell you that Prad was crushing the longs based on a buyer in that price area. So if it drops another dollar, I would look for support there. Just because it was there in the morning does not mean it will be there in the afternoon. But it's not a bad place to think about a dip buy because there was strength there before. Anyways, that's just my frustration level for Trade Desk, because if I just wait for that, it's like an easy VWAP retracement off of the 75 level, like 13 cents away. Stock is closed at $54. $20 range on the session, goes within 13 pennies of the resistance level, and I don't have it, and I'm actually down on the stock from shorting it.
People think you and I had like a lunch break with Pratt, if you know what I'm saying. But obviously the show ends and it comes right over to us. So these are not, we're not hungry for any reasons why you may think we are. So, but we're not. I'm not even really that hungry. It's like I had to have a piece of that. I mean, shout out to Barry Jones, man.
I threw out half my salad, legit. I told you I didn't like
you
this.
did, yeah. You asked me for the tomatoes, remember?
Because Sean throws his tomatoes out. I'm like, give it to me. I love tomatoes.
Yeah. I'm a good old Italian on that one. Okay, so let's just look at this here. So Microsoft did come back in. We are noticing right now that the futures, and this is why, not why, but if I change this back to a 1 minute, at least this is a 2 minute, so we are trying to hang under here a little bit right now. So we'll see if it takes down this 13,345, back down to the bottom, 13,340, something like that. But this is really the level that we're concerned with on the NASDAQ, 13,321. How's that pizza, Lucas? You like that? Yeah, Lucas also with the thumbs up on that one. We'll do maybe a little ratings. And we could do pizza all the time, so we'll do that. But over to Brendan right now, maybe there's some news on this move. I don't know.
There was a volume spike here on Roku I saw as well. There wasn't any real reason for the market, but yeah, we're continuing to come off here. Just broke through 81 there on a spike, guys, to the downside. There was actually a downgrade on Roku this morning pre-market, so it was actually gapping to the downside before everything happened early on, but showing a little weakness here again.
Maybe it's showing a little weakness, but not showing weakness, but I'm going to put a trail in Roblox. It's up to 46.70. I'm trailing it to 46.50, but it's this NVTA that I hope Luca's still long, because he flipped long. I hope he still has this, because I think he probably flipped long at like 380 and not at $4. But I got my target up in front of that 475 in the daily. If it pushes 60s and gets in that range, I've already trailed it to 50. I might tighten up that trail. I just look at this and think, what did I just do to that level 2? I just look at this and I think when you get to a level like that on the daily chart, which was support, then resistance, this could be where you actually find some sellers that can play this back into a deeper pullback, which it hasn't really done that yet. There was that wick top, but then that held $4 even. I think you could press back into 4 potentially. We don't want to look gift horses in the mouth. It's been a good one so far. Watch out. This AMC even is feeling a little toppy. I mean, apologies for this wick, but it's now made this high at 23.50 a couple of times, challenged it, now starting to roll back over. So I got another leg out at 42s. If it pulls back in, I still like the 22.5 area. I don't know about the 23s, however. So we're starting to run out of steam here. 23.50 goes. And it's not smooth sailing to 25 because you still got to work off of the pre-market highs, or the opening range highs, I guess, because it got up to 23.80 apparently at some point at 9:30. So either way, I think it's got some work to do before it can even sniff that 25 area. Consolidation is good, but at some point you have to break the high for it to matter.
Yeah, so, as this market comes back in, maybe we do sell off the rest of the day. But, Microsoft, this is a pretty aggressive pullback. So, we went long. We got out of actually 60% of it there. We averaged it, and now we just have the position back again. So, we have the position back. We're long at 43s. It's just right here. We are going to try to, I told you that we're looking at this 288 level. So, that's going to be, I guess, an area. If we're going to get run, it'd probably be run right there. So, 288 to come in. We do have... thought I had more bids down there on Microsoft. I need to have more. I need to have more bids. So I like this trade down in though. So we'll wait to see where we go on Microsoft. But for right now, I like the trade. So I'm going to go longer here into this name. It's been a strong one. It's weaker than some of these names though now. Like if we look over at Apple, what's Apple up right now? 2.26, so more than Microsoft. I'm just trying to run the gauntlet on some of these names. What is Google up or down right now? Google up 2.5%. So maybe you know, I don't want to like rest on the fact that yesterday Microsoft was really strong and it was really strong into today when we picked up these bottoms. But you can only bottom fish so much here. And maybe now it's turned around a little bit and people realizing that Microsoft on such an upsized move here from 245 all the way to 290 today. Like, great move, 50 bucks, almost straight up there on what was a good quarter, but not a great quarter. Like, I don't know, just really surprising. I mean, we saw Microsoft rip up after their numbers, so definitely they like it. But I don't know, I'm convinced I'm long. It's just I'm not going to be long for very long. Not very long for very long. If we get below, as we zoom in here on the 2-minute chart, if we get below this 288, then it's going to be dump time. So it's fine now. We're out of the money 3 cents. I don't even know why we're worried about this, but Microsoft right now is looking a little bit worse as the NASDAQ just trying to hang around the highs, but definitely edging to the downside right here.
Yeah, and speaking of at the highs, Alibaba, that just came off the highs. 93, by the way, like wipe out bottom. I mean, SoftBank rumored to sell off some of their position in Alibaba. It was just SoFi that they were saying they were going to possibly sell off of all or some of their position. But what's interesting to me about Alibaba is the same way that there was this 107 level, which was just absolute gold. Like 107, if you were here a few weeks ago, it was every single day it was giving you a short opportunity off of that level till eventually capitulated. And it's not quite as clean, but this 89, 90 area is starting to look pretty good on the daily chart as well. You pop it into the 15-minute, and I think it's a little bit, I like it a little bit better when you look at it in the 15, because essentially you had today where on bad news, right, like a negative catalyst, it broke out back above that 90, rejected it, so it looked like it's going to fail, and then held for it, rejected the break of the low. So twice it got put to the test, both on a breakout, which it extended, and then on a dip buy, it ended up holding that level. So this looks pretty solid. I think the problem here is, of course, this 93 is resistance. Sets it up for a bit of a break, maybe today or tomorrow. 92.97 is the current high of the day. That's on watch for a top-end break. The caveat being, I mean, you guys have watched a few close shows in a row now where we've been in this spot, we're in the top end of the channel, you're like, oh, it's going to break the high, oh, it's going to break the low, oh, it's going to, and then it does neither. So that's why I sort of said for tomorrow I'm looking at a 93 break for BABA. It could happen today. I'd rather not put my eggs in that basket assuming it's going to. If anything, I think you short levels like that this afternoon, assuming we're not going to get breaks, give yourself a tight stop, play like if you can get 90s, play that. 10 cents, 15 cents worth of risk if it gets up there, and maybe you get a retracement. If it breaks out, it breaks out, but that hasn't been happening in this market lately in the afternoon.
Oh, man, no. Right now, though, we are heading to the downside, and it's not very pretty. So, yeah, here we go. We are almost at, our maximum position here for Microsoft. So, like, again, why are these orders canceled? Oh, you know why? Because I think I have auto cancel on. That would make a lot of sense because I'm just switching up some of my things, as you guys know. So I'm going to change that. Auto cancel, yes. That's why. Okay. Duh. I meant to get longer down here, but 10s. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter where we go. Let's go to 10s again here, get a little longer on this, and then just see where we go. So here we go. Microsoft, we're going to put in a bid here, get longer at 288.10. Meant to do that. I don't know if we would have got filled. It doesn't matter. We'll put it back in there. We'll probably get it anyways. Then we have our stop orders to go if we break down through 288. So we tried to play a strong name here on Microsoft, and, I thought it was strong, maybe a little bit of bad not research, but I should have paid more attention that it's actually not as strong as the other names today. So, even Tesla with that news is still up that 3%. So if you look at Tesla now, bouncing around 875, now starting to come in on Tesla there after hitting some of those tops. Randy's out of here already. You're out of here?
I've been here since 6:30.
Been here since 6:30.
And
yeah, exactly. But all right, so he's
I know you drive further.
Tearing down a wall.
Yes, yeah, tearing down walls and stuff like that. So, like Chris Jericho, tear the walls down. Okay, so we'll wait to go. Now we just missed.
You got my attention with that one.
We just. Yeah, that was a good one, right? We just missed the downside. Like, unbelievable that we're waiting at 10 there, and then it pops to 23. That's okay. We'll get that back in if it comes in again. So we'll wait for Microsoft. Hey, I don't mind missing it if it's going to rip up right now. But damn it, That was about a penny or two away. Not exactly. It was a penny away from getting filled. We'll see if it comes back in, but that's a reload spot right there. Not a reload, but just an average in spot in our last one at 288.10, looking for a break to the downside. But we'll see what Microsoft has in store right now. I didn't think we'd get this low on this name, so I'm feeling like it wants to break.
Be careful with this NVTA. Remember I was saying that 470, 475 area was a potential top on that daily. So I got some out, but I held a little bit here. I did get the offer at 70, but I held on to a tiny piece just to see if it would run those fives. But it has a bit of a wick off top forming. So I've now trailed that to 50. It gets beneath here. It's more about the fact that if I was flat and it made that same move off of this price, I'd be looking for a potential short here. But I just want to, the tape is still pretty strong, and it's very strong actually. So I want to give it a chance to maybe make that run to 5 even, but I've trailed it to 450. AMC is really slowing down. That 2350 just feels like it's going to be too much for AMC. If it reclaims 23 even, I'll probably just go break even on the last of that position as well. And then Roblox, it's a similar story. Like we get to the top of this range, the market is pulling back, and the stronger names are just slowing down up here. So now we're going sideways off the top, so my trail's at 50 here. If we can get to 47, fantastic, but this could be the tail end of a potential move. I'm looking for something to short off the high, but I don't really see anything that I love. I'm considering NEO, because I like NEO 20s. We had a NEO long that should have been a Tesla long earlier. If you watch the morning show, it's like I saw Tesla make a technical break and was like, NEO's been relatively strong. Let's punch Tesla. Let's punch NEO when Tesla's going. And then NEO proceeded to run like 30 cents, and then Tesla went like 15 bucks, which I guess, relatively speaking, isn't that bad of a deal. But Tesla just probably would have been a little bit better. I like trading Tesla. But that 20 level has been all kinds of resistance. So I probably should be shorting this if we can get into those 90s. That's the one play I kind of like to the short side. I need something else.
Yeah, you know what I was looking at maybe for the short side? I mean, it could be Meta. The only problem is I'm already long Microsoft, so it's like I kind of got to hope that these futures hold up right now, which looking at them, man, I mean, we are getting really close to that breaking spot. Like I said, I'd hope that Microsoft wouldn't be at this level at this time, and hoping it would be more here once we break this, because I'd hate for it to come down, hit, and then bounce, and then we're like, we're not long anymore because we're stopped out. So yeah, we do have a position here on Microsoft. It's been a pretty violent name, so watch out. This could go either way. I mean, the spread opens up to like sometimes 6, 7, 8 pennies when it wants to move. So you got to watch out for liquidity. Remember, all these ones on here, it's by hundreds, right? And so when you that's only like 100 shares sitting there, right? So you got to watch out for that. Here it comes a little bit backside. We are long at 23 right now. It's 20 to 30 cents worth of risk. So obviously we would hope that this market would rally a little bit back up to the upside so we could start to piece some out with a 1-to-1 risk to reward. But I don't know. Like I could bail on this trade right now for flat. But let's just we're trying to make some money
off of Roblox.
Yeah, I just saw that Roblox. It really sucks that I'm out of this because we had this dead to rights, but then this little wick down there gets us out. There goes Roblox. A beautiful break there of 47.
I think it's about the top.
How strong is this name today, Roblox? And again, on our sticky note for that 45, and there it goes up to 47 and change. So Roblox definitely ripping here. Great trade on that one.
I just got out.
Still be in this.
So I just covered because I'm going back to it closed at 47.35. And I was just saying I'm looking for something to short as the market's trying to roll over. Yeah. And I feel like if it goes to that green, like red to green, and fails at that price, that would be like a short entry for me. So I'd be talking like break 47.35, maybe hold the 47.50. You could even get up to 47.75, like up to this resistance from yesterday in the afternoon. It could get up to that, and then if it turns around in that channel, that's where I'd want to be shorting it. So I think this might be the tail end of the move. Clearly, like if I'm honest about it, like when I was still shorting this off the 45 level, it was probably a long since here. Like if you look at right here when it broke that higher low, and so like right here it was making lower lows. And then it broke that out, and I'm still shorting 45s. It was probably a long at that point. It made that break, then held higher lows at that point, and a series of higher lows. So that was probably a long since that price. A little bit late to the party, but I'm looking for a reversal at this point in Roblox. Somewhere between 47.35 where it closed yesterday and that 47.75. That's a 40-cent channel. Any turn there, I'm looking short Roblox.
So I bailed out of a third of this Microsoft trade. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to this talk about maybe we're at the highs, maybe we're looking for rollovers, and I don't disagree. So it's like, now it's gonna go, okay. But all right, so anyways, I just wanna say we got some out there at 20s for a 3-cent hit for a third. If it rips up, that's great. I mean, we'll make a lot of money on it well, not a lot, not as much as we would have, but we'll still make a decent spot on this. So, you know, if it continues to go upside Microsoft, great for us. But again, we did bail out of a third. Little bit of, to be quite frank with you, a little bit scared of the downside here. So it's like we've already had a good day. Sometimes profits can evaporate like those slices of pizza did, and you got to make sure that you are, you know, being pretty cautious with some of your trades. But what's up, Brendan?
Still making pretty impressive moves, guys. INFI, another one just popped up through $1 around midday. We're up to 120 now on that one. BCAB that I mentioned halted, resumed. Now we're back to day highs, trying to break 7 now for BCAB.
Oh goodness, and that's actually just in time because I just got out of this last one here. This one's that's for you, Fahad. The strike. I don't know how many of those you can bowl, but NVTA. Yeah, okay. He's always talking more trash in there, but NVTA just got to $5 or $4.94, close enough to it. Bit of a stacked up offer when it got that close. You saw I saw 90s, like actual size sellers start to jump in there. That was about going to be that target anyway, so pretty strong move. But the key to this is sometimes you have to acknowledge this for what it is. Like if it fails from here, you can look for a retracement into VWAP or 3. But I mean, come on, like that's the previous high at 380. And then a big size seller gets broken, you got to be able to reverse some of these sometimes. And it's hard to do because what happens is when you look at a chart like this on a stock that's already almost doubled, you can say to yourself, yeah, but that's ridiculous. Like it's not going to go any further. And I used to be that, like I was always that dude. Always. It's like, yeah, it's only short. And I would only look to the short side. But sometimes you have to reverse. I'm not sure it's going to be able to break this 5. You can see I'm starting to get out of my longs at this point, except for Tide. I'll be in Tide until the close. Well, probably not. I'll have to get out of that eventually, but it's above $1, so I said I would long, and I did. AMC is starting to come back a little bit, but that BCAB, which needs to be on our radars as well, because look, what's moving, right? Like we're not breaking this channel that we're sitting in the futures just yet. So, you know, it's been NVTA, it was for a bit, their AMC and GameStop, and now you got this BCAB taking out those highs, and it's the same story. Like it looks ridiculous, but high break at 6. Halt, come back down, hold support at 6. That's not that complicated. So, you know, it broke down, went to $5.95. So a stock with at the time it had a $3 range on the day, and when it went down to support, it broke it by 5 cents, and then ran $1 to $1.20. I mean, there's a long trade in there. Maybe it's long 610 with a 25 to 50 cent stop, whatever you want. You'd be chasing it at this point. I'd be looking at that halt price, like 650 for a little bit of a dip buy here if it can come. But BCAB, if you pull up the daily chart, I think significance is pretty much where we're at right now, like that $7 level, and then there's a little bit of room up to like 9 and 10. So I don't know about buying this high where it stands. You would have to dip buy or extend above and hold that 7 level. Maybe a 50 break would make sense there.
Ooh, man. Wow. Okay. Just looking around here, Microsoft just did take a dump. So, I mean, it is a good thing that we are taking some out here for that profit. Remember, our long was at 23 initially. Now, because we've averaged down, it shows that it goes first in, first out. So it doesn't give you an average price and stick to it. It just takes them out as it goes. So that's why it's going to show me long at 288.10. We are not. Our real position was 23 on this whole thing. So that's why we have an out at 20, then an out at 28, then a couple outs around 32, 33, something like that in that area, and now we watch out for it to dump back down in. So I did take some meta here short, just against 178. That was more because I thought Microsoft was cranking lower, which it looks like it's going to do. So I do want to have something short in case this market does crack. But what's up, Brendan?
JMIA, everyone familiar with Jumaya, back to the upside today off of earnings. They came out and said some positive things on the corporate side as well after their earnings report came out. So day highs right there, 20% today for JMIA. Let's get a quick check once again with Steph on the overall market.
Hi, everybody. I'm back again to talk about ES futures and potentially what some setups could look like going into tomorrow. Again, I'm going to be pulling up my 30-minute chart here. So if we maintain our 4,200 level and continue to maintain 4,210, and we're going to set up for an upside bullish day tomorrow, some resistance is of course going to be 4,300, which is the next key psychological level, as well as another supply zone. We haven't had price action between 4,270 and 4,290 since May 30th to actually the first week of June. So we will be struggling to get through these levels on the upside. Of course, coming down to the downside, if we do decide to crack through 4,200, I do see potential bounces from 4,190, 4,180 if we want to come back down. Again, that 4,150 is going to be a key level as well, which that has been a level that's been in play for the last week and last couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Let's see what's going to happen at the end of the day and what could potentially set up on the long side and as well as short side for ES futures for tomorrow. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And I'm looking forward to getting your take at some point on oil futures as well, by the way, because she knows her stuff when it comes to oil futures and has a good story that I'm not going to tell you guys, but that'll be it for another day there. Yeah, we talk about Tony. Tony said he was diagnosed with paper hands.
That was the best.
I got a little bit of that too, and it's just
That was the best story.
It's a $5 round number, man. I was long at 4, so out at 5 always makes sense, and it's just a psychological thing. But NVTA continues to go. It just broke 5, went to 525 or 527, whatever it is. Now making a bit of a pullback. And you know what? The biggest volume candle on my 3-minute here of the day was when it made that breakout. Ooh, and when I said I was looking for some shorts, I just started into NEO. So the march to $20 on NEO is possibly coming in here. We're going to start that short. I'll be out if it breaks 20 even, but NVTA super strong. That BCDA, that was BCAB, sorry, BCAB, that also looking like it's holding strength. So I was looking for a dip buy in here, maybe if it would challenge 650. Top end of the range, still looking very strong on BCAB. And I'll do this one time because I'll have the position and it'll just sort of be sitting there. Even when I get flat, like I got trailed out of my AMC, you'll still get to see this tide position that's in there. So if you weren't watching the show yesterday, I said what I was going to be doing. For every single day that the chart looks like this, I'm going to be on the bid at 1, 2, and 3, and potentially some 4s with a stop at like just under 99 cents, and I will scalp it. Like I take it out once it gets above 5, like 7, 8, 9s, a few at 10, 11, and then I'll cover some to 15, 20, 25. And if it does a parabolic move, hopefully I have some on board. Otherwise, it's just a rinse and repeat. I've seen this happen before and kicked myself that I'm not just doing this scalp trade, like making a market down there and catching bids. And Tide, if it wants to hold a buck, fair enough. If it gets below that price, the longer it holds here without breaking out, the more I'm going to also like the reverse short at 99 cents one day. But that is not today. Volume's only okay, but at least this will guarantee that the day that it does volume, if it does so, I'll be in it when it happens as long as it gives me an entry in the morning.
So, yeah, really good right there. We'll do a little bit of backflip there as the market, for some reason, just shot right back up to that 50 period. And there goes Microsoft right back to the upside. So, yeah, this is going to be a profitable trade. We just got them, like, look where that went to. 36s, 37s there. We just cashed out on the way up there. We actually didn't have any offers until VWAP, or until about 30. And then once it got back up here, we took that trade. So, and I do see what's up to Momo on here. Shout out, what was it? Momo Hitsugaya. Let me pronounce it again. Momo Hitsugaya. There it is. Careful with the short on Meta. Yeah, look, I mean, I am in that. That just ran into me there. So as Meta versus Microsoft, the only thing about it was there's the short right there at VWAP, so it did come back in on that move up. We are short 77. We are going to try to take some profit out. It was not like it was like a hedge against Microsoft or anything. It's just, Microsoft, we were a little nervous about that name breaking, and there it is. Yes, sir. Let's just start cashing in right now as we're back, baby. Good trading. Someone else, Jay Freezy or someone out there was like, hey guys, Power Hour's been pretty crappy the last little while. Yeah, it has. has. I mean, there hasn't been too many market moves. So we're trying to take advantage of some of these spreads that are coming through. We have a nice trade here on Meta. That's going to be 20 cents in the money. Hopefully it can fade out a little bit. And then we are getting lighter and lighter on this Microsoft trade. So again, hopefully this will still continue to rip up and we'll just deal with this Meta trade. Let me take another piece out here on Meta. Why not? We can get a 71 or 2 print. I don't know what I just put a bid there. Hopefully it comes back in and gives it to us. But so far, so good. We'll wait for another blowout top here on Microsoft. Maybe we get that back to the 50 period again. We'll sit a little higher just in case that does happen. But Meta short, Microsoft long. So this is what I'm talking about. It's just throwing yourself around here. I don't know
Speaking
if this
of that,
is going to be a right trade here.
Speaking of throwing yourself around, so what just happened on NVTA, which I got out of 10% ago on the long, is it just got up to 550, and about, I want to say 4 or 5 times, it is blown back down to like 545 with a bunch of sellers, and then come right back up to the top. So it's gone below 550, literally shown that it's failing that 550 level, and then the buyers just take all of the offers out that stack 47s, 48s, 49s, and then it goes right back up to the high. So if it takes out the top now, it's just got a bunch of sellers at these prices. I just got it at 47, so I paid down a little bit here on NVTA, but yeah, it felt like it was getting top heavy here. Just gonna adjust my stop order. Getting a little bit top heavy here, but still the tape is absolutely insane. It chewed through a lot of sellers just now, so someone's still buying a lot at this top. Brendo?
One that was top of the volume list throughout the midday here, CLWT. Finally getting through $2 there. There was a huge bid that was sitting there for quite some time. Finally got through it. So breaking downside once again for CLWT.
Oh, it just ran the
we
stops.
We have something going
back
nuts
down
right now. IONM. I don't know what this name is here. IONM. Assure Holdings. Right now with a big move upside right here. Probably a low float name again. We'll just check that out really quickly here as Brendan. Probably see if there's anything on this. Probably just another name there. Yeah. So no short interest on this name at all. And then 11.5 as a short float. So just as the float in general. But it doesn't have anything. This is a new name. I haven't seen this on anybody's lists yet, but maybe this is something to look out for. IONM, and again, Assure Holdings. Okay, so it did have a big move the other day, obviously. Wow, I don't know, like a big move, then all the way back down into $1.50 again, and now starting to take back off again. So I'd just say watch out for this 250 level on IONM. But yeah, that's an interesting name for sure to look at right now. Up 33%, and it's running away a little bit here. That top tick of 45, watch out. That might be it. You can get some out if it comes back up. That's also a long situation if it takes out that top wick again. But IONM, another one that's running.
And speaking of runners, they just ran the stops on NVTA, went like 2 cents higher, and then just started the flush. So it's like it needed to relieve that pressure, obviously. I got right back in on that wick off top, this time at 52.5. I played some out to the 30s in front of that 25 level. I'll probably try to get on the back end of that. That should be at 15 or so, maybe like 12. And then down, if it can break 5 even, I'm looking back at about like 480 for retracement. I think that it's about halfway. Like it's about halfway from that 420 breakout. You can see VWAP to 560. The tape is still very strong with this. I mean, stupid strong. And I'm starting to work into that NEO, which is creeping closer to that $20 level. Like, it's getting real close. And the market's sliding up, as Sean mentioned. So I got to watch out for NEO because that 20 break, I show a high of day at 20.07 on my chart. My chart says it hasn't broken 20, but my level 2 says 07. I'm gonna go back and check just to be sure. I'm pretty sure it hasn't traded above that 20 level because that's a nice round number. If the market breaks a high, NEO at 20 looks good. I'll check back in on Tesla at some point as well because it's not to say that I want Tesla to be breaking highs if I were to reverse long, but the more Tesla lingers here below that high, the better I like the better I like the NEO short, and the less I like breaking out that top on a stock like NIO. But Tesla, it looked like it was very strong. I thought maybe 870 could play into support. Didn't quite get there. Now running toward the high. We'll see.
So there goes IONM again. We just talked about that 245. Look at it break 250 here. Let's see what happens. Looks like there are some reserve orders. And if you're looking at IONM right now, you see how these are all one, but that's hundreds, right? And so you've seen more than that come off. Like some of these prints, there's more. Look at all these at 50, 50, 50. So right now we do have a reserved order there. Now it breaks. So now you could, there it comes right back. So that's part of to notice where there could possibly be support and or resistance when you get that kind of a look, right? So there it is on IONM, just gave it up at 50 there, broke, but then came right back in. We did see some size. So just be careful if you are on this name. I just showed you that there were and are some sellers there at 250. Okay, so I feel like whoever warned me there, and I'm going to give you a shout out because you're right, man. I mean, be careful with these meta shorts. It came all the way in. That was at 64. Like, that's only, these are 2-minute charts. That's only about 10 minutes ago. We were down here into the 60s and then a rip back up. I mean, let's call it 8 minutes. A rip back up here, right to 78 again. So it's doing the same thing as it doesn't want to break 78. Doesn't mean it's not going to, but there is a little bit of size there anyways that's hidden behind this wall. So, you know, we'll see there if it takes out 178 or not. And on that note, we were looking pretty aggressively to get out on Microsoft when it did pop up there as well. So, you know, that's part of the hedge that we had on, where we thought Microsoft was relatively strong versus Meta relatively weak. Might be the other way around now that I look at it. But our hedge has been okay. Microsoft, again, my third best name today, and this is my first trade in for Meta. So, well, I mean, since you guys have been watching there for Meta. So we did have that. This is Microsoft, and you're going to watch out for Meta, which has just come in right now, as I was saying, my first couple trades. So if it holds out at this 78, that could be pretty interesting, but I have a feeling like this is going to break. We do have the Microsoft long just in case.
Yeah, guess what starts with the letter R and just turned green on the day?
I love that name.
Roblox, up now 30 pennies. So I said if it got into this channel and showed any kind of a curl, I would play it to that 47.75. So I'm now in it, short at 58. So kind of like right in the middle of that little level there. I'll zoom back in. I don't need to show you yesterday as well. So it put in a top right about where we were looking for it to and came back down. So I grabbed the short. Stop is through the high. First out's back toward this consolidation, and then if it can break down, maybe hold to 46. But this is into a strong move. It's just the futures are at that high that we haven't been breaking out of. So if I find something that's at an actionable level for a short where it's like, okay, well, I know we're going to be wrong. It's 20 cents in slippage. We'll take a shot at that one. NVTA is still going sideways a little bit here. So it got down, took one bid out, and then still trying to hold up. And that BCAB, because right now it's, you know, unless you're in the right name, like these small caps tend to be, I mean, you were just mentioning IONM, and then you had NVTA that's going, and then this BCAB. These are the ones that seem to be moving right now. So I don't want to get too far away from where the action is. And there goes Roblox through that high of the day. So
I love that Roblox.
We'll get out of that. It's like, man, that long. Yeah, I shouldn't have got out of the long. Should have just kept on playing the long, I suppose. Although, to me, it just feels like it had gone too far without the market going. Green on the session is impressive, considering where it came from. But hey, it's not a huge short interest, but it ain't zero, and it has been beaten up. BCAB on the verge of taking out this high of the day. Can probably put a pin on that 650 dip buy, at least for now. It feels like it wants to make a run at that 750 break instead.
All right, so 178.10, that one is high as right there. So we'll try the short one more time, 178. I mean, maybe a little bit higher than that. We don't want to give back, what we've made. We've already talked about that today. So, we did get stopped. We still are long Microsoft, so that's working out. But we did take that out there. Here we go. It's going to break again probably. But we're back into the meta short right now at 177.97. So, right back into the money again. But let's just see how far this one wants to go down. If we could start to piece this out. Meta's been pretty strong, but we're just noticing that there is that top there. And again, this name, it's just, we're not using big amount of shares here, but Meta's been kind of holding up here. It's up 6%. That's a pretty great day for Meta. I just thought that we would have a chance to get back in a little bit here. So Microsoft and Meta, they're kind of just counteracting themselves right now, but nice little move upside for Meta. We've only been shorting this name. I still feel like the bottom comes out of this thing at some point, but the futures are saying no to that as they're trying to go right back to the day's high. It's just amazing that we're still able to hold on to this meta, even though we are at the day high again. So there goes Softy right back up to 50. So this is a good trade for us. Taking that out, we got to take a piece out of this meta, of this Softy. That's a good move upside there. See if we can get a 47. There we go. So we just get a 47 there on meta. On Microsoft, and watching this meta go down to the downside, hopefully. But Microsoft, a good take there. Our net is slightly going down here, but not that much, considering what this market's doing, which isn't that much either. Maybe there's a name out there that you guys want us to look at. I mean, there's AMD near 99. Maybe we can do that. Jason, I'll double check that. You've asked a couple times, so let me check this out. Floatchecker.com is what I use for this, for Chewy. So we'll look at Chewy here. Yeah, I mean, some of them, Morningstar says 38, but Yahoo 34. So you kind of take this with a grain of salt, figure it out.
Let's call it 29.
Yeah, exactly. Take something in the middle and call it around a high 20. So that is the Chewy shortable share float, as according to Float Checker and some of these names up here.
This stock is gone, NVTA, by the way. Like it just broke $6 for crying out loud. So the short looked like it was going to start to work, and now it's really starting to extend itself here. This is one of those candles, biggest of the day.
Yep.
Like it actually threatens a halt when it gets up here. 625 is your high. If this isn't a turn, then there isn't a turn. That's when I see something like this, like there's no capitulation candle yet, but if it's not trying to make a top, then I don't know what a top is on this stock. So it just ran that 625 even. Let's see where it turns to. Like about 650 is sort of your obvious stop level, and if it goes through that, then you just sort of give it up because this one is an absolute beast of a mover here. I already have my stop, and that's a very slow. Like I hit enter on that, and it's like a second and a half later, you actually see the order. I'm crossed up aggressively here. At this point, a pullback, if it holds 650, a pullback would be to 550. If it breaks 550, which it looks like it's going to do, it's already broken 550. This stock is now nuts. I don't be thinking about 770. It's like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was long this stock to start, and then decide I want to flip to the shorts, just like we did in Roblox, and it's still going. By the way, it's back below that 650 level, so it could be making a bit of a wick top. There's sellers coming into it again. This exact same thing that happened at about 550. It's
frustrating, right?
But once it's this far, like there's no like if you're in a long and you're holding it, that's one thing. Once it's that far, I'm not chasing it. I'm only looking for shorts when it gets this high and when it puts that kind of a candle in. And I probably just got wicked out of that last one. But as I said, that last candle, that looked like that's the kind of thing where you get a turn at this time of day. It's also 325. Right,
it's
so a lot of times
close,
you will
man.
have people start to take profit there. I just ran away. I tried to just get back in on that wick high. That's me sitting there at 642, and it might make that pull back in. But I said it before, like if you're shorting something like this, you're gonna get top wicked. Maybe it flushes to $5, and I just made the top wick on that last short. But the flip side of that is the next level up, if it held 650, when I looked up the daily, it was like 750 to 770. And you're not holding a short into that. Like, that's not happening. You can't risk $1. It doesn't make any sense here because I think you're looking for $1 on the way back. Brendo?
Another one making day highs here, guys. Big move for AMRS, one we've looked at many times. Also off earnings. Nothing but straight to the upside for this one today. Sometimes as fast as they go up, this one, yeah, Fahad, there we go. As fast as they go up, they come down just as quick. So IONM straight back down.
All right.
Of course, I don't trade that one.
Yeah, I know. That would have been the great show. We did talk about that. That one seemed to be at not too much volume there, but thanks for availability. Was that your name there? Yeah, availability available. Meta, yeah, Meta. We definitely ring the register on that one. So that comes back in, and yes, sir, we are sitting there taking that profit on Meta. Another profitable stock for us today. Although it took a little bit too long to make that move. So, I don't know, man. I mean, we are at some of these key levels here. We've changed it up. This is a 5-minute chart. We are right now just kind of like dancing around on this. I told you, like, we're using different time frames now a little bit into the close. But, you know, on a 5-minute, you still got that 178 top. And then these are the kind of bottoms that I'm trying to get now, 40s. But I don't know. I mean, the market's going to have to do what it's going to do. Brendan just put in our chat, I don't know if you saw that, he sees Chewy on his Icon terminal at 5% short.
That
so
can't be.
That definitely is not right. But I mean, the point is that there is some back and forth information on that Chewy short. So pay attention to that one if you are indeed trading Chewy.
Yeah, that's not a small discrepancy, though.
Yeah, it might not have the right information there. Okay, so Microsoft, too bad, because we were loaded up at 23, man, and now it's big time move. So, definitely had that trade, pretty happy with it, but should be more happy because we definitely left something on the table here for Microsoft, because a bunch of outs here. Our last one was right here at 45 as we tick higher. And the reason why we got out is because of what Meta was doing. Meta came back down, so I was like, hey, I want to do the same thing, right? Reward myself for being able to take a trade on Meta. So we take that trade, and all of a sudden, boom, goes a dynamite. It goes down, and then right back up. And then, of course, we're now out of our, this is what I'm saying, like, the hedge worked fine. Our net is much higher now than it was before because of this move back to the upside. But if we would have cashed out everything down there, then we would have been laughing a little bit even harder. But we can reload this, 178.10. The thing is, the market is pushing highs again. So no pullback in this market for right now. We'll have to wait to see. I'm debating putting on more of this Meta short.
And speaking of more of the short, NEO it saw 20 on the offer for a split second there, back to 99 even, but I have Tesla up because it's real close to this. I guess it's not the morning high, it's the afternoon high at about 884. Of course, in the pre-market, we got a lot higher than that, but I'm looking 85 as that top. We get through this, I think it gets a little bit spicy. I do have a stop for a scalp breakout trade. If we get there and break it, I'm going to make the strong assumption that we're already through this 20 on NEO. NEO just made a high of the day.
Oh, man.
This wick here is why my chart's showing 20.07, but it has not broken 20. Looks like we're about to test that right now. I'll get the last entry here, maybe get some more shares at 99. But if it breaks 20, I'm out. If Tesla gets through 885, I want to play along. We got 30 minutes left. 20 to the imbalances, so there's plenty of time for a breakout trade in there in Tesla. I'll scalp some out as usual and then try to hold the rest there. And guess what just held up? So I decided I trail out of AMC. I'm like, okay, well now it's going to come right back to that 22.5 to 22.60 when we pull back in. Nope. It only went to 22.80 and then right back up toward those highs. So AMC, 23.50 was the high of that move. That's a lot, best we got twice. You got like a triple or quadruple or whatever you want to call it top. It doesn't really matter. That's in play as well for a 23.50 break. So you can't really be afraid to try to grab some of these. When you have that tight of consolidation, I'll grab it when it's got momentum like it has to that upside. The pullback wasn't very deep. Let's see if it can take out that high. So that'll be Tesla. I mean, if I'm going Tesla 85 and AMC, if it breaks 23.50, I probably don't need to reverse NEO at 20 even, although it is, I mean, NEO at 20 is pretty appealing if it goes to a round number like that and the market can at least challenge these highs. That'd be nice. But I'm looking at the names that are showing relative strength over the market here primarily.
All right, so we're doing it again right now. I mean, this feels like yesterday. We'll do a couple backflips. I mean, we obviously want a little bit more. We did take more of this Meta right there at O's. So it came back in. We just took in, what was that last fill there? 80, went right to VWAP. So 84, 85 there, and here comes right back in again. So I don't know, let's just take another fill here. I mean, honestly, I want to be able to hold this, and I wish that I mean, I can, and I will. I'm just trying to take out about half here, as our out is going to be 10s, right? And so 10 cent worth of risk. We're cashing out 15 right now, and we obviously want more downside here for Meta. We have a target of right here. Like, this is where I'm targeting. So that would be about a 7-to-1 risk to reward. There it is. So one more cash out coming, and then we're out of half. As here it is, man. We're in the money now, 20 cents. So it's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio for us now on Meta. So we are trying to get some out, and we just did a decent job of that. But it just went down to 79. I'm at 77. So not great there. I mean, I could just keep reloading this, but at some point, you don't want to do that. We saw with Microsoft, we kept reloading it. Eventually, it went down. It made money for us, so there's no problem. But it is a dangerous story to always hit these reloads over and over again. With that being said, I'm going to take a piece out at 80. Oh, there it is. So I just punched out at 80 there. Didn't necessarily mean to do that. But there it is, out at 80. Now we're out of half. So we're out of half of our Meta for 2-to-1, about a 1.5-to-1 risk to reward, again, because we talked about that. So now The rest is house money. Let's hold Meta for the end of the day, unless it takes out that 178.10. That's it. We're going to hold this. There's only a half hour left, let alone 18 minutes until the imbalances, right? So I'm pretty comfortable with this. Let's see where we go. We've got the Meta shorts.
So NEO breaks without any of the other two coming through. So Tesla doesn't get through 85. AMC might come in. It's actually testing that high now, that 23.50. So now I kind of want that play. I'll sit on the bid here, ones and twos. I didn't want to have all of them long at the same time. But I'm going to show you this EFTR because people are talking about it in the chat. I just want to keep perspective in mind. Yes, it is making a very strong move to the upside, but this thing was doing absolutely nothing between 75 and 90 cents before yesterday's breakout and to $2 and all the way back in. So when we get into this channel, there's going to be sellers here 80 to 90 cents, right? Like that's sort of that obvious level that you're going to run into. But NEO, super, super strong move. It actually levitated, like the quote levitated through, which is hard. Trust me when I tell you, it was at 99 and then it was at 0203. Like you visually, when you watched level 2, you didn't even see ones and twos. It just went right through both of those levels in exactly one shot. So got out right away. Stop orders still work. Like it's going to trigger you, but that was a lot of buying. But there hasn't been much since. It's just kind of sitting here. It's pushed 1 more cent higher, but it's really kind of going sideways, which is why I believe it might just backfill here. Like to get into the long, you might just have to sit on the bid. I don't think you have to chase this one up, at least not the way it's going. What is going on in the back?
I don't know. Yeah, perhaps asking, are these guys doing degen stuff down there? Oh, NVTA. Yeah, so they are going degen.
This stock is insane.
On that one. Okay, so, oh man. All right, what did I say about this? I just put a bid out to get out down here again. I can't. Like when I see this stuff flying around, it's like it's so hard for me not to try to grab some of that. I mean, Meta's come in here. We're 25 cents in the money. It's not like it's been a big trade or anything, but this name is come in a little bit there. Let's just check out something else. That NVTA, I don't know, were you just talking about it? I don't think so, right?
This is, no, these guys in the,
I know these guys in the back.
Everyone on the floor is going nuts about this stock because, quite frankly, it's going nuts.
Let's have a quick look at it.
Like when we started the show, like this stock was at $4 and now it's at $6.50. Insane.
Yeah, we should be. I mean, we should have respected that and tried to go long somewhere. Let's just do. Let's look a little bit more. Wow. Okay. Big move up. I mean, when you're looking at levels, I don't really see too much coming through right now on this name, so we'll have to wait for that. There's the 2-minute chart. We've already talked about that. I don't know where my 20-minute is. It's back here. So let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, this is brand new, man. This stock is brand new. What do we know about this? Do we know anything about this, Brendan? Like, what was the situation? Because 660 is the high. I mean, the high is 675, but there's some levels there at 660. So here it goes, man. It's going to break just as easy as it was before. A quick look on Float Checker again. Floatchecker.com, not a sponsor or anything, just gives us that good little look here. NVTA, there it goes, 680 right now, 2020, 2020, but lots of shares. So yeah, this name's starting to run. Brendan, give us the good on this.
Earnings name, guys. They reported earnings. They got a couple of initiations and price target increases this morning, but yeah, just reported earnings for Invitae Corporation.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Okay, Invitae. Nice.
Yeah, we'll take a shot at that.
Good ticker for it. It just got to 693 and pull back here. Oh my goodness! Like every single one of these dips is getting chewed back up, and it looks like it goes about 10% from where there was the best liquidity at the high, pulls back and then catches a bid every 10% or so. So if we make a $7 break, I think that's kind of the play I'll look for, like catch one of these little bit of a swords. And we're saying this the last couple of days. Like a lot of times, the best way to get into it is not necessarily the high break, but to play a consolidation. And when I was short in here, I'm not seeing the fact that it's giving you that consolidation to enter at 540, I should say, because I'm playing it short off that 560 level. But really, that's an entry 540 into 520, and then you don't have to worry about the breakout going for you. And then this breakout here, dipping back in front of the break at 560 into 580. So I think that probably gives you like $6 to 620 as an entry if it's going to go higher. And what's crazy about it is it just put in a capitulation candle. Like this looked like that's done. Like I got top wicked, then it drops almost $1 in that move, and then caught a bid again. Like that's insane. Like a lot of times the stock is going down to $5 and halting after you see something like that. So the tape is still absolutely ridiculous. I still have my stops out for Tesla and AMC, but I figure we're either going to get a dip into this 586 or a break of 7 before either of those two things happen.
35. I was just so Meta goes up through 170 and gets us taken out. So we'll lose on the last bit of that Meta trade, and now we're completely flat. I mean, nothing happening right now. So Nvidia up to 180. I mean, there's lots happening. Just trying to find the right names to trade again. Google Google's down. So Google, we had a great trade. I mean, Google automatically goes up my board as a top stock again, but not as good. That's still NVTA. Okay, come on. There we go, Google. 2-minute chart, we should still have our executions on here. There's the break of 120 that we had just as we left the show, literally at 11 o'clock. It broke. Our best out there is 120.70 before we got out of the last 10% or so on a 119.80 break. So, you know, in at 120, good outs there on Google, but since then it's kind of struggled a little bit here. And like I said, look at this. This is pretty choppy. So I would think that if we break this bottom of 119.35, maybe we can get back to the downside. But this name not really participating in some of those moves. Look at Google right now, not doing anything. Look at Meta, what just happened to Meta. That took out the outside there. Look what's going on. Again, we should still be long.
The chips are strong.
Microsoft, a big move to the upside as well. Trying to go back 2 days high. I mean, I guess days high would be off the open here of 290 or so, but they're getting close to that. So Microsoft's starting to go. Really, the name that's not going is Google. So you can either play that two ways. Say that it still has some catch-up to do with this market, or maybe this is a short into this level of 119.75 or so. So, you know, that's also possible on a weak name here, Google. It's not weak. It's up the same as the market, but not participating in this move right now, Google. So watch out for that one.
Yeah, the chips were strong. Someone just put in the chat there that Intel was looking pretty strong. He just took out the high of the day as type it incorrectly there. Come on, load up. Don't get camera shy, charts. Intel taking out the high there. We primarily look at AMD and NVIDIA, but there's a top break for you. NVIDIA, which has been relatively strong as well, not quite taking out that high, but holding above that 180 level pretty key there. So some relative strength over in Intel. NVTA just made a little bit of a turn here. Every time I type it in, I type in like NQ first on the stock, and it screws me over. Cancel that bid. I'm just canceling this pullback bid because I want to be able to be a little bit more. I know, 200%. It just failed at 7, got to 704. So that notion of pulling back in like 10% on an initial trade looks like it is right in that pocket of like 630s and 640s. But now it doesn't even want to go back there. It's actually holding near the high, so it's not quite as big of a dip as it was doing the last few times. That was a little bit deceiving. Could still happen, but wow, $7 break. If it reclaims the high, this thing could easily go. But 7 was a good short if you had it. Like the same thing we were doing earlier, that actually would have worked out for you for about 40 or 50 cents when I decided not to. So NVTA, still strong here. I'm going to back off. I didn't have that short in. Probably should have been a little bit quicker to grab it. If it's going to bounce, I think it's off 6.25 here. And if it can't hold 6.25, that could be it for this stock.
I just fixed the chart and then it automatically crashed. So, all right, I was trying to show you the Microsoft chart here. So hopefully it'll load. Yeah, I mean, now we have these crazy, oh man, what a disappointment. If you are with our charts, 226, you got to go in here, you got to edit, you got to go over here, 226. See, it says that bottom is 258. Nah, it's 288. So I'm just going to put in a bid here, 288.24 or so. Push OK. Hopefully it gets rid of that. There it is. There is another one here as well.
It didn't crash.
That I didn't crash that time. But we just took the long because it broke through. Now again, now it's fading back down, and we're not. Remember what I said? Like I'm not trying to do this. I want to try to hold something into the close with only 10 minutes to go before the imbalance is there. We should still be long down here, but we gave it up way too stupid early because we had that thought about Meta. Sometimes you can overthink yourself there, but there it is, a long of Microsoft breaking through 289. I like the strength on this name. We talked about that. It has been relatively strong, not so much today. Maybe it gets going again. So here we go. We're long at 289 flat or 289.04, so flat enough, and it's not a huge position. Let's just see if this wants to run into the close. Fortunately, I can't keep zooming out, but I'm thinking like at least here, 30s, maybe 50s. But right now, that's what we're looking at, 289.50 or so on a rip upside for Microsoft. And by the way, what is Coinbase doing? I saw some more people talking about that. Back up to 94. Is that the day's high?
Close.
Maybe. I think it is actually. Yeah,
95, 94.87 or something.
94.75 right off the open there. But yeah, Coinbase, like look at this. This is what? Straight up here for about an hour? About a half hour, actually. Check that. Yeah, exactly a half hour upside for Coinbase, right at some of these levels that you may be interested in a short against that 94.50. You got to give it a little bit of room, but this could be a decent short off that play right there, 93.78 for Coinbase.
So I cleaned up a wick on my chart. So I went to clean up this little wick here that's on AMC to show you the breakout of that 23.50 that we just got into. So I went to clean that up. So I apologize. Like, this has now happened, the ghosting on my chart. But AMC's on the run again. That's the more important thing. I'll show you guys my black chart more often. Maybe even the 15 will be fine. Yeah, the 15 looks pretty good here as well. So if we can actually chew through like this mark here, about like the 80s or so, I think you have a decent chance at a bigger push, but the 80 lingers. Like that 2380 level definitely lingers. Gonna have to take some out. Psychologically, it's that 3/4 mark as well after breaking out at 50s. And just because I know you guys are watching, I knew we'd get this one. Tesla, by the way, with the market screaming, this doesn't want to break 85. I'm not sure we're gonna see Tesla at that price, but Vita, whatever it is, it's at the high of the day and still going. Brendo?
Another one getting elevated here into the close, guys. Bio-Nano Genomics with a short percent as well, but 15% on this one. Just made a day high now, 54% for Bingo.
And Bingo was his name-o.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but that's a good one. All right, so Microsoft's starting to go. We can look at BNGO. We traded that in the past. We're going to get something out here for, I mean, just like we're trying to do, man. If we could just start to piece these out and just start to stack up a little bit on our net, because we've sort of been removing from our net. So if we could start to restack, that would be really nice here. So hopefully that can come through, and then Microsoft will continue its nice little upside move as the futures are right now officially at new high of the day. So congratulations anybody that believed in the market today. Yeah, the NASDAQ is now at day's high. I don't know if S&P is or not, but there goes the NASDAQ up to 13,400. Yeah, basically at the day's high. Obviously the S&P is most likely there as well. We can look at that quickly. ESU22. So here it comes. There it is too. Yeah, same thing. So they're both right at the day's high. NASDAQ took it out. ES is close enough to doing that right now as well. So here we go. Maybe we do get this little push into the close like we thought about. You know, who knows? But up to 3%. We made that call today. We're close enough to that right now. Let's see where we go on this one. But I say upside, fine, sir. So there is a market on close and balance, and it is about 400 million to the buy side. There's Microsoft, by the way. Okay, here we go. We do have some offers in the 20s. Come on, Softy, get going. We do have some more offers in these 20s. We should still be long the lot of shares that we had down there. Trader Proud, what are you trading over there?
It's NVTA. All anybody's looking at is that stuff.
Sorry, he's on the futures.
Oh, well, so these guys are talking about.
These guys, yeah.
750 on this thing. Like AMC's starting to come back into that 2350 level, but Apple broke 169. I got to say that because someone's been saying it in the chat over and over, and helping to make that market break that high was Apple getting through that big top. This is now getting right up to on the daily chart where it actually had some resistance, that 770 level. So, I mean, it's like you point it to a level on the daily chart. It's like, how many times am I short before it? Should have just held along into this price. We're right in. This has now gotten over the top parabolic. Guaranteed this will be a big one for tomorrow in either direction. So when I'm going to come in early to pay for shorts because they're probably going to be stupid pricey as this one just continues to churn to the upside here. I want to see a more parabolic candle because I want to have something with a relatively tight stop for shorts. I will put trails. I'll put trails on some of these because the bounces are coming out in a couple of minutes here. I'm going to put a trail, obviously, on AMC in a quick second, and Tide, I'll probably just have to punch out of. But this does feel like it's getting top heavy, and it's late enough in the day. Oh, my, are you
8:30 going. So, like, honestly,
my finger was on enter to short 780, and I didn't hit enter, and the next thing you know, it's $1 higher.
Look, guys, I don't want people to get FOMO. Like, it's been a great trade, but net, you know, this has been a hard trade today. If you're positive on this name, that's fantastic. But there it is, up to $9 right there on NVTA. So all we're basically got to do is learn that, you know, earnings, plays like this, we got to be back on those. But there it is, NVTA. Like I said, it's building up to halt. It wants to halt, but
It can't halt up. So I don't know. It's not too late in the day to halt upside.
I thought it was going to halt downside there because we went from 9 down to 8. Like, this should halt now. This should be halting. So get ready for a halt at some point. Maybe it's because it's the last 15 minutes, but that should have triggered. To me, that was 10%. I don't know. That high was 880, and it's down to 8. But I guess it needs to break 8, I guess, to get this into the halt state. But you'll see this all line up here off the halt state. So watch out for that. I mean, meanwhile, your boy is just sitting over here absolutely destroying Microsoft. So come over to where we're making money right now. That's Microsoft to the upside. So Microsoft, again, a banger trade. The number one trade on the show today looks like it's going to be Microsoft for the number one name. So nice trade there. And, we can look at NVTA, but, I'm trading this Microsoft, and that was a good one for me. So nice move to the upside, and congratulations. Like I said, NVTA not going to be a positive name here, but for you guys, I hope it's positive, as there it goes. Let's see what happens on this 8 break. Like, wow. Volume Central, 200 million shares.
Only a 50 million share float, last I checked. I think it's no. It's 50 million short, 50 million short, and 200 million float.
Yeah.
This is a stock that is going to be, if you look at it, I have never seen a stock do this that wasn't a huge mover on day 2. And it doesn't matter what direction it is, but sometimes you're dead. If it fails at 5, maybe it's a nothing burger tomorrow. But after it makes a move like this, it is the first thing I'm looking at tomorrow morning, and there's zero question about it. Because it's about going to where that opportunity is. And I think at this point, I'm surprised it didn't halt. I think you're likely to resolve itself at 4 o'clock, because if it didn't just make a turn and halt down off 9 even, I'm not sure it's capable of halting to the downside until we actually get that close. And if there is one but in the next 90 seconds, then you are holding until 4 o'clock, Brennan.
On JD.com right now, guys, from 56 down to 54. Yeah, just having a look here, see what I can find. But heavy volume sell side for JD.
The stock.
Oh, that name.
Someone's asked. It is SSR. NVTA is short sell restricted, which, yeah, did it move enough for yesterday? 260 down to, I don't know why it's SSR. It says SSR in our system. I didn't think it moved enough yesterday to be SSR, which, by the way, short sell restriction in the last little bit, it's given more juice to some of the long trades, and when they get when there's a squeeze. If it's not, that just means you cannot hit the bid without an uptick, which makes it harder to jam the bid to short. So it doesn't mean you can't go short. It just means it's harder for you to aggressively attack the bid to go short. You actually have to sit on the offer, which makes you more prone to getting run over on your orders, as opposed to being part of the downward momentum, which often can make a stock more bullish. That's the idea. That's why they have the rule in the first place, was to make it harder for stocks to cascade to the downside. It helps squeeze stocks go up when that happens. So one of the things to look for is high short float, a stock that was down the day before, SSR, and if you get a break early, like this was SSR, look at this top break right here. That's what you look for.
All right, and bounces out just right now. PBR on the sell side, pins on, a big one for pins on the sell side right now. So some of these names that, and again, remember we have Elliott Group into this name as well. So this could be something to watch out for as we wait for it on a 2-minute chart. I'll do that again for you to see. So that's pins, ATVI, Microsoft. That's not going to do anything, as that's a buyout. Siri, Saleh Radio, that Prad was uncertain of the name. Vale, PBR. That's it, man. Very, very muted imbalance locator today. We're out, man. We are out. Let's just, we have a small piece left on Microsoft, about that 10%. Let's just not mess with these imbalances. See if we can get some out here at 93. Oops, we can't just cancel. There we go, 96s. We'll take a piece out. Yes, sir. So diamond hands, not really, because we are out of Microsoft for a win, like I said over and over again. And I wanted to address something here because, I know it's funny, what's up to Mr. Inglewood, 77. At Sean Katina, as our leader, you should have gotten us into NVTA. Just kidding. What a day, right? Yeah, it's been a big day for me, and I haven't traded NVTA. So like I said, it's just, for me, it was a great trading day. We should have looked at NVTA earlier. But, when you look at these names, there are so many that are great and then so many that aren't, right?
Remember, let's be real for a second.
What?
Luca talked about this stock and was in it for the entire second half of the midday show. When we opened the show, I was in the long at $4. There hasn't been a moment at which we weren't looking at the stock, and it was a great breakout. Obviously, it was a mistake not to hold on to it longer, but I'm not going to pretend that I actually saw this thing going to $8. I didn't think there was a double up in store for it after it had already doubled. But just to finish the thought there from before, if you're looking for what recently has been a bit of a connecting factor for the bigger moves on some of these, it's a smallish float, the short interest, and then it being SSR. So sometimes it's deceiving. You're looking for a stock that has gone down enough to be short sell restricted and then make a break on the second day. And that's what it did. It made an early break, which doesn't look like a heck of a lot. It doesn't look like much is happening, but when it makes that next level up at 3, suddenly it's trapping shorts that were shorting off the levels from the day before when it was weak, and then it just starts gaining momentum, and it just mothballs up into a parabolic move eventually. And the problem with it is, it doesn't look like it's so hard to get into a long off a 3 like this because you see what it's done and it was weak the day before. And it's even harder sometimes to go long again when it seems like it's already gone parabolic. But the truth is, sometimes it makes that second, third, fourth push into that upside. And that connecting factor, I think Luca brought it up a few weeks ago, sometimes that SSR can be a key factor. You can always look that up online. We get it in our system on our level 2. It just says SSR Y, so I know it's yes.
Anyways, yeah, what I was talking about there with you, Mr. Englewood, was just that, yeah, you got to trade, where your core competencies are and what you're there. It's going to halt right now, I think. That should be a halt level. No, it's not. Okay, so there's just stacking. There it is. Now it's going to halt. It can't go up now. There it goes. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it should have. I feel like this name should have halted, but yeah, you just got to trade what you're best at, right? And I mean, like I was saying to you about NVTA, we're not going to tell you if guys are negative or positive behind us, but it is a tough stock to trade for sure. But you had to have that long early, and if you did, bingo, bango, bongo on that one. Google 120, okay, that's going to hang out there. Let's check out on a big runner today, Roblox, as that's just mooned here in the afternoon. So great one there on that. So a great little moonshot there for Roblox. It just sucks that we got out there on that bad tick to the downside. But yeah, so far so good, man. The mock imbalance there came out at 1.4 billion shares to buy. So, billion shares, dollars to buy. PBR is such a low value stock, but I guess the 10 million on that times 15, that helps that number out, but I don't really see anything too significant. There's Amazon as a buy, so that's going to be pretty important there as well, up to 142, but again, not really rallying the stock. Tomorrow should be a really interesting day. We'll end the day not at our highest spot, but still a very, very successful day for us here. Pretty happy with it, and tomorrow we're going to be even more happy because there's so many more names, including Disney on this list there, Brendo.
Also, Coupang, because that's exciting. Here's what's coming tonight and tomorrow morning, guys.
Disney's a big one because the streaming wars have been heating up, obviously, as everybody knows. And if they want to hit their growth, they're going to have to put up a solid number when it comes to those ads. And if they can beat, this stock is absolutely poised to be breaking. You can look at this 113 level on Disney and pull up your daily if you get a shot at it. But above that price, Disney's in breakout territory. Strong day today for it. But yeah, Coupang, sure, Disney, I care more about. I'm just going to be more excited for some of the extension. Like the way AMC was able to just end the day, breaking the highs, that gets me a little bit excited to see if it can hold that momentum into 25 there tomorrow. And then, of course, to see that NVTA. And let's not discount things like Roblox that just reported. That should be great on day 2. Coinbase, which continues to move every single day. Coinbase is giving you like 5-10% move. So I'm going to be over there. I do like Disney as a trade. I don't know if there's too many on that list that I'll be watching. Dutch Bros, because of its short interest, should always be at least on watch, about 20% or so.
Okay, thank me tomorrow about this one, Matterport. So MTTR, Matterport. This is, again, another play into the metaverse, into all that. So watch out for MTTR. Look at this name, $25 back in January, down to $3.50, right? Now you're bouncing around. MTTR, regardless of what the report is, we saw what Roblox did today, turned severely. Roblox only moved, 35% today or something? Let's see, where is Roblox here? So Roblox's bottom of the day today, and again, we only have 2 minutes left, but Roblox today opened the day at 40, right? And now today it's at 48, so I guess it was 20%. But from yesterday, big move down, and then 20% up from that bottom today. Is that right? Yeah, $8 on 40. So no, $8 on 40. So yeah, $4, yeah. So about 20x% there to the upside around that. So that's what I would be expecting from Matterport tomorrow. Not that it's going to move 20%, but could be one of those names that again gets squeezed out. And on Flow Checker, it's only 14% short, but still, Matterport, another name that I feel like a lot of people are going to be off sides on, no matter what the report. So MTTR, a good one. Look at Microsoft, man. We say stick with what you do best. I mean, Microsoft's been an absolutely great name for me today. All of these are longs, and all these outs are above the longs. So it's been a great stock. I'm going to continue to trade Microsoft tomorrow. Roblox, my number one stock, still the TQQ off this morning hit. We talked about that as the trade of the day, going long right there off CPI and basically taking it to the high of the day at that time. And even right now, still that current high. Roblox, the second best name for me, obviously off all those shorts and then off those longs. Can't believe we got wicked out there. That's okay. On that, which didn't even happen. And then Microsoft, my third name. So we're going to be pretty good today, man. Not finishing at our high, but pretty close after another successful day here on the trading floor. It's been a good one, man. We haven't had a red day this week, and we don't plan on it, but anything could happen. Tomorrow's a new day. Very, very exciting today. Oil's still up 1% at 91.50.
Because I know you want to see it. It crossed the 200 million volume mark, and actually, remember, it looked like it was going to halt to the downside. Maybe it was a time of day thing why it didn't. Actually, now that I think about it, it was in the final 10 minutes. It is going to close near that high, that NVTA there, guys. And someone was asking about Rocket short interest. That's about 22 to 25%. But they already reported Rocket mortgages, I believe. Yeah, we got their report already. They were like yesterday.
I'd have to look it up.
Yesterday, we already had them this week. But yeah, it did make a bit of a move, Rocket, over 20%. There's a lot of names in this market that are in that 20% range for short interest. It's a heck of a lot more than it used to be for obvious reasons because of what ended up happening in the overall broad market. And I mentioned what was going on in AMC at the end of the day there. It's going to close right up. I still don't have the morning. It's got this ghosting going on in the chart, but going to close right up near those highs at 23.75. So, I'm going to like the longs to 22.50, where we started it in the morning and where we started it in the afternoon, and then try and play for these breaks. AMC up to 25 is big resistance. We saw what happened the other day. It's that lower high, but it really found itself a good bottom, wick off bottom, and it's not just that name. There are wick off bottoms all over the place. Capitulation lows this morning after we pulled back heavily and then breaking out the highs. That's always a pretty bullish move. When you make that kind of a turnaround selling on a stock, break those lows and reject the break of those lows. I love that setup. It usually sets up a bit of a bull run. That's what we'll watch for in some of these squeeze-ish names, which are showing no signs of stopping.
Yeah, 2.8%. Wow, what a great day today for everybody. And there's a couple of our good friends here on the chat. Shout out to Jarhead Trader, was on our show. I hope you're well, brother. You were on our show when we did guest traders. And of course, a shout out to the Playmaker himself, who I met in Miami. So down with Dallas, Playmaker. As we go, there's Jarhead again. Yeah, I'm giving you a shout out, man. I'm giving you a shout out. What's up, my man? But thank you for all the support and welcome back, Jarhead. Hope you're well. With only 10 seconds, Neil. Oh, dude, you missed that countdown. There it is. A little bit late on that, but that's okay. We'll count it down anyways.
This is at 9.
Yeah, so 3, 2, and 1. Just hit it anyways there, Tony, as the market is now closed for the day, but doesn't mean trading stops, of course. Trading extends to about 7, depends on the gateways and on your broker, but 7, 8 p.m. there on major exchanges. So we'll watch out for that to see if NVTA continues its move in the post. But big earnings coming, Brendan, and a pretty successful day after CPI. We were not sure what today would bring, but I'm glad it brought some cash.
Man, was it ever a day? That's for sure. I just heard 4:05 for Disney, guys. So a couple of minutes to kill if you're waiting for that. Here's a look at how we ended. 2.08 for the S&P. It's been a long time since we had a 2% day to the upside. 2.7 for the NASDAQ leading the way. But what a board today. It's been a long time since we've seen a board. It's tough to see, but Ethereum 7% down there behind that P&L, guys.
Yeah, big strong day for crypto as well, which we didn't even really talk about. Outside of the context of Coinbase, and crude even up a little bit there. I say a little bit because 1% is pretty disappointing on that board. Sorry, Brazil. Ooh, it got to 9.28, and now coming back a bit of a dollar. Yeah, I felt like it would resolve itself in the aftermarket, which is still churning through volume. And the thing is, if you're trading this in the aftermarket, as Sean was sort of mentioning, you should always know your broker's rules when trading pre and post market. Oftentimes you have access to a different set of gateways. If you have direct market access, your stops might work in a different fashion. Sometimes you don't even have access to stops. Now, we don't have those. We all know that we have different set of rules here at Day Trade the World. Most functionality is there. But if you're trading something and it extends into the aftermarket, just make sure you know what the rules are when you're trading. You'd hate to get caught thinking your stop is going to be good and then all of a sudden they don't work on your platform. It's way too dangerous, something like this, to not have a stop if you think you do.
Yeah, rocket up 7%. I mean, a lot of these names. I'm still watching out for Disney. I think Disney has a good opportunity. Thanks again for all the love on the show, man. It does mean a lot to us. We put a lot of effort into this show. People saying Tony looks sad. Yeah, remember he was coming on and he wanted to re-short or had a big short on the market. So hopefully that can come back in there as CPI rips people's faces off today. And I think that that's part of that big move, right? A red box downside, but Roblox going red to green, obviously a big move. I can't end the show without saying a big shout out. And we had one slice. I'm assuming there's some left.
I doubt it.
You know, Luca's probably crushing
no
that.
Chance there's any left for him. No
Prad,
chance.
As well. But anyways, thank you to Barry Jones. Thank you for sending that through. That meant a lot to us. And not just because it was pizza, but just that, you know, you guys are thinking about us. You're supporting the show, adding some content to the show. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Barry Jones. Means a lot to us for sure. Thanks to Luca today. Thanks to Trader Prad for a great Midday Madness show. Thank you to Fahad, Lucas, Mark, Maggie, everybody there. They're all over there right now. Katrine, Liz, thanks to Brendan, thanks to Neil. I mean, it's, you know, we're going to wait. I'm not delaying this for Disney. Disney's going to be about 4:05. Hopefully that comes out and definitely gives us something. Anything catching your eye right now, Brendan? Or
Not much,
okay.
honest.
All right, so let's just wrap it up, man. What a great, no, but sure, I mean, if there was something, we'd show it, but since there's not, wait for Disney. Hopefully it's going to be a great day for them. Down to 100, I think you got to buy that name, but without any further ado, the trade of the day is on the market. You can watch that. That still remains my #1 stock today, the triple Qs, the TQQ levered. It was great having Stephanie. I forgot to say thanks to Stephanie.
Yes.
She's going to be on much more regular, so stay tuned for that. But from everybody here at Trader TV Live, join us tomorrow when we start on regular time at 8:30, and we'll catch you then. Good luck to Disney shareholders. Bye-bye.